Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today, of course, we got ourselves the very noteworthy new faction of Lyraza's Lair. Well, noteworthy in a weird kind of way. Oh yeah, I forgot, I did all the battles earlier. Whoops, because I was preparing for the video earlier, but then what ended up happening earlier, I woke up early. I got like almost everything up to that point except for a few teams I still didn't make up, mostly just the ones I needed at the time. And then I like took a really quick nap. I was gonna like lay down for like a few minutes. Turns to a few hours, and here we are now. But yeah, I kind of overslept a little. Not by much though. But I didn't have time to record the video because, well, just kind of crashed there. But anyways, of course we do have that lair. It looks like this because I can't actually get there that way since I did all the battles. But this is what the layout looks like. It is underneath a yellow-purple restriction. It's a little bit interesting in that you pretty much just do 2 rooms, and then you can do any room. It's kind of weird how it is. I kind of thought it would be a little bit more restricted with how its path is, but no, you do like 2 rooms in any direction, and it'll let you do pretty much anything in the entire delve, essentially, except for the final battle, obviously. But you can just go straight through. It's unfortunately not a 3 room. It is a 4 room, so it's a little bit of a slower rush. Not by much, but you do have to take out a tier 5 in that regard, so a little bit annoying there, but actually I'm not sure if you can go down and then into it. I actually didn't test that yet. You might be able to actually, and if that is the case, doing a 3-4 would definitely be a little bit more convenient than doing a 3-5 in most situations, if you can end up getting out that way. From all this, we do get a new weapon as well. Where is that weapon? Underneath the shop over here. It's really annoying because a lot of things in this delve, and by a lot of things I mean literally everything, has a multi-random mechanic. As far as the ability for this weapon, it's drain 5 mana to all enemies, or give 10 magic to all other allies, not even itself, and that's based on its own magic, or it creates 12 purple gems. And yeah, it's just too random to be viable, and the things that it do aren't even that good. And that's pretty much the whole definition of the entirety of this faction. Every single thing is pure random chaos, and it's not even that good as far as what they end up doing. So if we go over to the actual faction troops over here, which we already have maxed, of course, we have Chaos Hound, Crazed Troll, the Dementor, and the Lyraza, which is the legend, which does bring in a new mechanic, oddly enough. We'll get to her last. But yeah, this thing just does 3 random things, some skulls, some doom skulls, or summoning a Chaos Hound. That one actually wouldn't be too bad for its mana cost if it wasn't for the fact it resummons itself, which is basically a useless ability if you're trying to be offensive rather than defensive. Crazed Troll is the epic from this place. It's a little noteworthy in that it doubles the new Dual Storm that we have off the final troop, but it creates a mix of blue and purple equal to the current number on the board. Pretty standard doubling troll, nothing really too special other than the fact that it has synergy with her. This thing, probably going to be the tank, even though the ability is horrifically bad. Has a 12 mana cost to either drain all of their mana, steal a bunch of attack, or silence the enemy. This is really bad value to do pretty much any of these one things, except maybe steal the attack. But all 3 of these, similar to many of these things that are within this faction, I don't know, it's just if one of these were to happen, even if all of them were to happen, they're not even necessarily worth the mana cost that they have, which is really strange. But the main noteworthy thing on this is impervious into 20% dodge, which does make it relatively tanky and is something to consider. And other than that, as far as the final troop, and the one that might get used the most, just because, not because she's viable, but just because she has a brand new mechanic. She has a Madness Storm. Madness Storm is a new feature that was added, what, a patch or 2 ago? Yeah, last patch, that we never actually got to see. It was kind of mentioned, like, hey, we can now add dual storms to the game, but they never actually, you know, added any dual storms. But now we do. Madness Storm, which is at the start of every single one of her turns, she will create a blue-purple storm. Is this going to be that viable? Probably not. There's an argument to be made that double storms are actually weaker than single storms due to the fact that they would overall have a less chance of getting a extra turn. However, there are some team compositions that are extremely dependent on double color. Really, first one that comes to mind always is purple and red because of things like Yagwe, Queen of Tanya combo, that are extremely red-purple dependent to function. So there are some instances where these dual storms will be applicable. However, they are very, very situational, and it's not always the case that the troop that has that dual storm will even synergize with the team that it needs to function with. And in her case, that's going to be the case pretty much every single time because her ability is awful. It deals some amount of damage to all enemies, which isn't even particularly high for 16 mana cost, nor does it have any extra turn or anything attached. Or it will jumble the board, which you can do for 7 mana cost, yet she does it for 16. Or she will explode, okay, 7 gems. It was originally only going to be 5. So they did buff that slightly, but even with that slight buff, she's still useless. So weird. I'm not sure why they made everything in this faction so bad. Well, we'll see what happens. And every single thing will just have a bunch of randomness, so that's going to be even more annoying. Not even sure exactly what pure faction is. The only one I've made out so far was the Urskia shield one. Watch, I'm currently still using it with Mountain Crusher. As far as what I'm currently running through with, it is this name. You might have even seen it when I clicked over there. It's actually what we ran on Tuesday, oddly enough, because it works under pure yellow. Or, you know, Mountain Crusher doesn't count for this, for factions. But, yeah, Harpy Mage, Guard's Avatar, and Sir Quentin. Obviously, this does not go to higher levels, but if you want to switch out for Urskia Shield, it does actually go all the way to higher levels. I think we will switch out for an Iron Gut team, though, because we do have access to Iron Gut, Zugaf, stuff like that. So for the later battles, I will probably switch to something like that. Best other option, of course, is Skull Spam, which I still need to go make a team for that to show everyone. And we also need to go make the Pure Faction team, which honestly is probably going to be double of the Legends, with the Troll and probably the Manticore up front, so you don't die. But yeah, as you can see with this, you kind of choose after you do your first battle which one of these 3 is the higher multiplier, essentially. And whichever one is the higher multiplier you go for. And then you can pretty much just navigate the entirety of the delve. It's kind of weird. Because once you get the second room done, I don't believe there's any movement restriction regardless of what direction you go in. Which is kind of unique only to this delve, because I don't think any other delve really has that mechanic. So we do this room and then boom, we can do every single one. It kind of makes sense by going to the middle one. However, it also is applicable to the other 2 as well. And then from here, you kind of do it similar to that of Hall of Guardians, in that you pretty much have access to the whole delve now. And now you just kind of decide which direction you want to go in, based on what the multipliers are. The only really annoying thing is there's a little bit of mix of everything as far as the rarities. But there's also no guaranteed treasure room here. It's a really bad delve to farm. Actually, among one of the worst to really do it for. Other than All-Seeing Eye. All-Seeing Eye will always be the worst, because there's one whole less room than any other delve. But, yeah, really, really weird layout. Everything about this delve is really weird. There's nothing normal about this delve at all. But if nothing else, this is the delve. The thing that's noteworthy about this delve, you might be wondering, the actual noteworthy thing is this delve finally makes it so it is possible to have a +1 magic bonus from total renown. As of this delve, we of course get another 2,500 additional renown that we could potentially earn, and with that 2,500 renown that we can earn, that now brings the total amount of renown we can have to 45,000. And once we go and complete out the entirety of this delve, I should have enough points that we will go and have a +1 magic bonus. We probably won't have this till tomorrow night, but yeah, you can actually have a +1 magic bonus now off of delves, which hasn't been possible prior. Also, I used up all the shards and still got this thing to 200. And we still somehow have 14,000 shards spare. That's a lot of spare shards. We did so many pure factions within like a month that we just have like infinite shards now. Another resource that we pretty much have overly maxed. But anyways, what are we looking for? Higher multiplier. Also, I am probably going to start taking rush method at some point when we're going through these, just to get through this delve, because the optimal order is going to be really annoying to take every single time, just due to how many options you normally have to go and navigate through the delve. Also, hello everyone. Didn't even say hello to everyone yet. Hello Army X Tube. Hello Kalthos. Hello Elite Gaming. Hello Manu. Hello. Oh, so that Kalthos, that sure does sound pretty funny. Let's see. Hello Chimera. Hello Ricardo. Hello Vladimir. Hello David. Hello Birdleaf. Hello James. Hello Isabel. Hello Sir Wolf. Hello Lochnar. Let's see. Team that got you early easy level to 250 in faction, and you think it'll work up to 500? Let me see. What is this team? Actually, I don't have the copy paste thingy on. Let me go get the almighty YouTube. I'm actually just gonna go through it this way. Keep using this for a lot lately, but I don't know. It's kind of convenient to just be able to do it this way. Let's go to our own channel via the magic of Steam YouTube. I'm actually still kind of... Oh, oops. I misspelled YouTube, apparently. I can't spell. Let's see. Let's go to our own channel. Easy, just typing in Gems of War. It should actually show up even if we just type Gems of War. Yeah, there we are. Right over there. Another ad playing. Can't even like my own stream because we're not logged in. Fail, but what we can do is, where's the team you just mentioned? Boom, boom, boom. Copy, copy. And we have gotten the copy paste. Easy as that. Okay, let's see what do I want here. Let's go put this over something we don't need. Let me reorder to Explore 3. I don't want to overwrite that. Let's see. Oops, don't get rid of my Guild War team. Okay, so this was one of them I was going to use. Need to go rename it later. Though, then again, we kind of already have them slightly named. So that one can kind of just stay as is. Pure Faction will obviously leave as Pure Faction. Probably paste this one here. Stop reorder. Let's see, what team is this? Manage, paste team. Oh, interesting. I did mention you could use Vespera. I wasn't actually planning on using Vespera, but of course she is an option to do so. I'm not sure if that would be quick enough to go all the way. What was this guy's ability again? Boosted by each enemy's life. Oh, yeah, that aspect. It does upscale some. Interesting way to go about it. I feel like you would need too many casts, though. And in a somewhat slow way, because you'd be killing them one at a time rather than in full AoE. But at least you wouldn't have as many mechanics that you need to worry about, like Submerge and such. I don't know, I still feel like it would be towards the slower side, though, compared to using Iron Gut. But it's pretty cheap. Other than Vespera, this entire team is common. It's 2 of the exact same common. Reflection of Good, which is 250 wins off of not Raktia. It's on, what's it called? The Archmagus. I knew it started with Arc. And then the only expensive thing is Vespera, then, in that team. Otherwise, it's an extremely cheap team to end up using. Oh, I do want to paste that, however. Let's see. We might mess with it later. It just feels like it's going to be slightly on the slower side. We're sure there's a way to test it for, like, only one battle. Or a few battles. We have to do it for, like, the entirety of the delve. Oops, I don't want invasions. We already finished out invasions. Let's go to the faction events. And clear out these last few rooms. Also, I will be doing Rush Method at some point. Not sure at what point we're actually going to switch over to it. Probably semi-soon. Because I feel like we're going to need a lot of packs in order to have enough stats to kill out the final battle. And currently I have only bought in 5. I'm not sure if anyone on stream has actually gotten all the way. And if you have, let me know what you did Pure Faction with as far as how many bonuses. Because we're currently level 200 as far as Renown. Or, you know, not Renown, as far as the Delve level. And with that 200, I bought 5 potion, which is what our stats currently are right now. So that's a combination of those 2 aspects. Also, speaking of that, I need 20% mana start. Oh, that's not what I want. That's what I want. And I'll still keep the armor because we need it for guard. Let's see, how many people have gotten it done? A handful. Really small amount. So I'm not sure if anyone there would actually be here. Especially since some of the names aren't even English. But yeah, it looks like about 20, 30 people on PC version might be done with it or so. Somewhere around there. Some people really went Rush Method if they're that low on it. If you're a little over 1 million, I believe that is Rush Method. So yeah, there's like a few right there. Yeah, it looks like we only have a handful of people done so far. Though it makes sense, it hasn't been out for that long. It's only been out for, what, 8 hours now? Almost 9 hours? Depending on time zone. You'd barely have been awake for most of that time. Which is also what happened this morning. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I was up this earlier this morning. But then I rested my head. I hate when that happens. And then you, like, sleep for a couple hours. Otherwise, the video would have already been up. There's nothing else we get to go on stream, and I know some people actually prefer when we go over it on stream, but we'll still have the video going up, of course, too, when we end up posting out the actual video as well. But this is what I've currently been running with. It's been working pretty well for me so far. This does obviously stop working. However, you can add or ski a shield instead of Mountain Crusher to make it start working again. How viable it is at that point, I'm not sure, and I'd probably switch over to something else at that point. But for these earlier battles, this is pretty much Rowan premise. Just a little bit more expensive, or actually a lot more expensive of a Rowan premise, because it does require Sir Quentin from the other week, which is a legend. And obviously the more expensive part being Guard's Avatar, which is a mythic. And also a mythic that you tend to not really have as much. Vespera is a mythic that more people would probably have, or at least in the sense that she would have been better to obtain at the time. Guard's Avatar is kind of one of those things that's been on the back burner. It has been out for quite some time. that while it's been out for quite some time, that might mean that quite a few people have it. However, its actual viability has never been meta since its probably first few months that it was released. And since then, hasn't really been that good. Let's see. Hello, JF. I still didn't go through all the things. Dual Storm is fine, you guess, but not nearly good enough for the last trait. Oh, no, it's a complete waste on that last trait. I mentioned that a bit earlier, that if anything's going to be constantly getting that trait and making it as a unique trait, every single one of those unique traits is going to be horrifically bad. I think the main reason they use it as a unique trait this time around is it does it every single turn. Similar to how things have like Red Storm every single turn, Blue Storm every single turn, Purple Storm every single turn, so on and so forth. They basically did that for a blue-purple. However, oh no, it is, as you mentioned, just a complete waste of a trait, which makes the troop overall weaker. Even if her own ability wasn't as bad as it currently is, it would still be relatively bad because she's wasting a whole trait for a relatively useless Dual Storm. Dual Storms in general seem like they're going to be rather underwhelming, and the way they're starting to implement it is already going in that direction. But who knows, maybe we'll finally get something good. And honestly, one of the biggest things will decide if the viability of Dual Storms is how good the Red-Purple Storm is, like the troop itself that's attached to. Because if something like that can actually become decent, there's a lot of meta teams that can be formed around that. Even soul farming would be formed around it because Dragon Soul would end up utilizing it in a soul farming team. Potentially. It wouldn't necessarily have to, since you could just use Purple Storm instead. I don't know. It just seems so weird because of the amount of more value you'd most likely get from a single storm. If they're adding dual storms as these unique things, just seems kind of weird overall. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like the premise of them adding dual storms. I just think they're overestimating the power of a dual storm relative to how weak they actually are, is the bottom line with that. Also, hello, Han Ping Mike. Let's see, playing this event now, your team is Mountain Crusher, Hiking, Iron Gut, Harpy Mage, and Possessed King. Yep, that's around along the lines of something I would probably run for the later battles. Pretty much a standard Hiking, Iron Gut team. I might end up going down Skull Spam route this time around. We'll have to see. But yeah, you can definitely go down Hiking, Iron Gut. It's probably one of the better methods that you have for going through. And you do have access to Possessed King. You also, if you need something cheaper, you do have access to Cursed Effigy. And do you have access to the brown guy? Because that would actually be better in that team if you happen to have it. What's the colors again? It was yellow and purple. I don't think... Wait, does he use purple? I believe it's a brown, green, blue. Wasn't it? Yeah, unfortunately he doesn't use those two colors. Never mind, I was going to say Vashtagan. I thought he used purple for a moment, but nope, no purple. So never mind on that. Yeah, you'd have to use either Cursed Effigy or Possessed King, I believe, are your two best options. Cursed Effigy has 4 times Curse, and Possessed King has a lot of mana accumulation. He has that really random transform thing, so it's not particularly consistent at killing out things that have immune. And there is a immune to Impervious on the first and final battle that you have to worry about if you're going down the Iron Gut team, which is one of the reasons why I was considering going Skull Spam. But yeah, the first battle has 2 that have Impervious, and the final battle has a guarantee 1 that has Impervious. And regardless of everything else in between, you're going to have to deal with 3 Impervious troops at minimum, which is a little bit annoying for Iron Gut to deal with, compared to if you just go to Skull Spam or something. So even though Iron Gut is available for this delve, I was somewhat considering against it, even though I probably will use it to some capacity. But, I don't know, if we had a better Curse option, it probably wouldn't matter as much. But I believe Cursed Effigy is the best thing we have off of Red-Purple, which is kind of weird because you almost never see me using Cursed Effigy. But I do believe it actually is the better option this time around compared to Possessed King. You can still use Possessed King. The biggest issue, of course, is his inconsistency on his ability to actually transform. Yeah, let's go for that for now. Because double converters really needed a buff. Yeah, technically double converters are already pretty strong. Dual Storms can end up helping out with that. I'm not sure if most dual converters would gain too much of a benefit from it, though. It's because if a high concentration of a single color is on the board, it might actually end up being a little bit better for them, just as far as alignment. But yeah, of course, if the dual storm is centered around 2 colors, both of which they convert, Like one of them they convert to the color 2 that feeds himself, and then another one they end up getting a skull for. For example, a storm that would be very strong would be something like a yellow-red storm. The yellow-red storm would be particularly good for something like Divinia that can convert the red to skulls and the green to yellow. It wouldn't be as strong on something if they convert both of them to the same thing. For example, if there is a green-yellow storm, that would not be as good for Divinia because the green becomes yellow and the yellow is already on the board. While this will help her mana loop her ability, she's not going to be able to get as many skulls down. But the strongest storm that could ever occur is if there is as far as double converting troops are concerned, is if there's a storm made that is the color, one of the colors is the mana that the troop uses as well as converts into. So I believe there's a few options with this. The first one that comes to mind is Divinian to yellow. But if I'm not mistaken, Quentin also has that mechanic, in that Quentin feeds yellow into himself, same natural color as well, except he also converts away the green skull. So if they ever had a mechanic like this, where the first of the dual color is the one that they convert into, so in this case yellow, and the second is the one that they convert the skulls into, which in this case is green, so in this case a yellow-green storm. If we ever start getting stuff like that into double converters, they're going to be really strong, which is yet another reason why Sir Quentin probably has a lot of potential into the future. Right now, I'd say he's just a bit above average, even though I've been using him quite a bit recently, just because he's been trying to explore the kind of options he's usable for, because he's pretty decently usable. But there's a potential he's actually quite literally meta in the eventual future. Because if we get a yellow-green storm, he's one of the biggest beneficiaries, if not the biggest beneficiary, from a green-yellow storm being added to the game. Very few things would use it. He would be one of them, though. Also, gosh, I hate this Delves layout with a passion. It's not like the absolute worst layout, and it's creative, like how it's set up. Because it's like an alternative way of doing Hall of Guardians. Interesting take on it. But, I don't know, just so many options. Sometimes it can give you too many options that just, if you want to go find the optimal route, it's just really annoying. And this is one of those delves. Also, hello, Chris Border. Hello, Brushka. Hello, Jan. Hello, Valdemar, if I didn't already say hi. Let's see. It's killing 2 at a time after some looping. Wait, how did it get 2 at a time kill? Wait, does it double poke? Oh, I forgot. It has double poke on it, doesn't it? I was reading it as it only has 1 hit, but I forgot. It actually has double hit. Completely forgot about that. My bad. I'll need to go mess with it then. We'll probably bring it in the mid-range level, though, because most of the teams I have planned won't really work in mid-range, so we'll go with that. Well, actually, technically, this one would if we Urskiya shield it. But, yeah, we'll try it in mid-range, probably once we reach about 100, 150, 200, or somewhere around there. Probably closer to 100. Let's see. You have half mana start, so you don't need Anu Metal. Wait, does everything have half mana? Hero doesn't currently. Oh, yes, he does, because I'm running Titan with it. You have 50%, you have 75%. You have, oh, yeah, never mind. Everything does have starting mana. I thought there was something I was needing to feed mana to, which is why I ended up setting it. But yeah, never mind. I was right the first time when I ended up setting pure armor. I thought there was like one troop that needed it, but never mind. Everything does have it, so let me get rid of that. Not like the extra armor will make too big of a difference here, since we're going to be one-shotting anything anyways at the moment. But we'll go with that. If nothing else, we could actually go cleanse as well. Let's see. I pulled a Lochnar. Let's see. What was the other team that was mentioned there? Also, hello, Neil. Welcome. Could we have a team code, please? Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad. Let me go get the team code. I mentioned this on Tuesday as well, as far as the team. I'm actually using the exact same one. And you can change it to Urskiya shield to upscale. But yeah, this team is actually not any different. Surprised we were actually able to use it for both, but it does work out that way. And similar to how it was good for lower levels of the other one, it's still good for lower levels of this one as well. But anyways, let me go get the team code. Let's see, copy. Paste. Here you guys go. Give it to you directly in chat. Oh no, I can't give it to you this way? What? You're not allowed to do it that way? Fine, we'll go open an actual browser. Be like that. Let's see. Because we're not logged in. The struggles. Let's see. Why do they make it so hard to get to your own channel? Fine, I'll just type in Gems of War. Obviously be like the first option. There we go. Hey, now I can like my own stream. There we go. 12 likes. There you guys go. There is the code. Not the redeem code. The code for the team that we're using right now. Not a redeem code. We will have a redeem code to stream, but do keep in mind, we actually probably won't have one tonight, unfortunately. I'm really low on codes because Salty didn't give me more. And I think we have enough till... I think we have enough to go all the way till Monday, but only if I only give out one code total today and tomorrow. I cannot give out one per stream. I'll probably just give it to the morning stream today and maybe the nightly stream tomorrow, or maybe we'll just do double morning stream. We'll see. These morning streams go a little bit longer. If nothing else, maybe I'll bring out a bigger code for one of these streams as well. Also, why am I clicking there? Let's go back to the faction stuff and keep getting progress on this. But yeah, I guess I will go test that one Vespera team next for this next level. I'm kind of curious to see how it pans out. But it should double kill to double kill at our level range. I'm just not sure if it double kills the double kill every single time. I feel like it'll eventually not have enough damage to do so. The other concern might be that Vespera starts a little bit slow. As you guys know from Guild Wars, she is a little bit notoriously slow at getting our start up. Once she gets started, though, she's like set. But getting that initial start can be a little bit annoying. But might as well go test it real quick. Which one did I save it over to? This one? Let's see. We'll give it a shot. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to mention it in the video, though. Though I did mention that I might end up doing... or that Vespera would be viable for it. But we'll give it a shot. Could you use Mirage Queen? No. The color restriction of this place does not allow you to use Mirage Queen. Your two best options for a Mirage Queen equivalent are Possessed King or... oh, what's the other one called? Or Cursed Effigy. But Cursed Effigy honestly probably being the better option. Oddly enough. And then use double kill. And yeah, I keep forgetting it has double poke. You get to choose the first one, the other one's random. But yes, it does have double poke. And a double poke does have boost ratio. And if I'm not mistaken, it's boosted by all enemy life. So that's a pretty substantial amount of damage that you get extra. That does eventually not one-shot, though. Let's see. Boosted by each enemy's life. If the enemy uses purple mana, deal double damage. Oh yeah, it also has the double to purple. That would allow it to one-shot purples. Hey, how many purples are in the final battle? I believe only 2. It's either 2 or 3. I believe it's only 2. But yeah, if it was really heavy on purple, that would also actually be beneficial on it. I believe it was only 2 of them. However, it's the more important 2, probably. So that actually would be somewhat beneficial. And also, this does double tap if there's only 1 left. If somehow 1 hit doesn't kill it. Oh yeah, duh, we can't see the colors yet, can we? Well, I can probably remember. You use purple. And I believe you use purple, and that's it. Those are the only 2. Pretty sure. First and last slot. We'll find out again once we get there. But if I remember their colors correctly, it should only be first and last slot. Yeah, Vashtagan does not fit, unfortunately. Let's see. Mesa Claws, Divinia, Dragon Soul, and Wordbreaker. Dragon Soul, Wordbreaker would start losing effectiveness once you get to the later ones. It would work for lower level range, though. Only other thing you'd have to worry about is you might need to put this spell on Hero. Just because everything damage-wise on that team is full AoE. And as we know from Truffles, that can be a little bit annoying once you initiate into Submerge, which this delve definitely does have. Not excessively common, but it does appear. And you do want to have a counter to it when you can. Also, why did my chat just scroll down so quickly? Just completely lost track of where I was. Also, hello, Grand Stephus. Let's see. You've been running 2 Finesse of Vespera and Doomed Axe. Interesting way to go about it. Doomed Axe would definitely help out a lot for pressing damage. But yeah, Vespera, it should be decent. The only real big concern is with startup. But we do have access to purple, so if we wanted to go down the Thrall route, we could try doing that too. For Guild Wars, that ends up failing a bit. But nothing in faction should have as annoying of a mechanic as something like Guild Wars would have. Like, they're not going to be running Web Spinner in first slot with an instant power to hit us. Like, that's something that an AI team like this would not actually have as a composition. Luckily. Otherwise, it would be very annoying. Let's see. Try Thrall instead of Harpy. Urska Shield instead of Crusher later. Yeah, when we replace out into Crusher, we probably will be revamping this team. By no means will we be using this exact team the entire time. This was mostly, when we switch back to the guard team, that is. But when we switch back to guard, I have no means on using that the entire time. I still need to go and tweak it before we do. And even then, we're probably still going to switch into something else. But I don't know, maybe we'll test it all the way. We'll see. Or we might just switch it up tomorrow just for the fun of it. Okay, we need to buff you so you actually gain more stats. Not like you're not going to one-shot, but with that, did the other one dead. And we're good to go. Oh, Ishbala, not Divinia. Oh, okay, that team makes a little bit more sense then. My bad. I was going to say, Divinia seemed like it was just kind of for mana there. Like, it's fine putting Divinia in just for mana if you wanted to. But, you normally want to be able to utilize her HP gain more often than not. Or the random stats effects. Also, hello, Play Game TV. But yeah, that was what I was referring to earlier, too. When I said you can't actually comment on my videos whenever we're... like, it still counts as a view. But it doesn't count as being able to comment or anything like that. Like when you're just watching on the YouTube thingy, like in a situation like this. Like you can't like the video, you can't chat. You can still see chat, oddly enough, but you can't like interact with it. Which I assume is some amount of people out there. That or we have a high amount of lurkers always. One or the other. The high amount of lurkers also makes sense. Because most people watch it in the background, of course. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Let's hello, Dust Angel, and hello, Analyst Prime. Can you use the Guild War chat instead? What do you mean by that? What, posting into global chat? I guess that could work for PC mobile version. If you're still in the chat, I guess we could give it to you. If you're still around. Because, yeah, that uses the in-game function. However, they do the exact same thing. Copying that and using the in-game function exactly the same. I guess on phone it might be a little bit more convenient. But on PC it'd probably be pretty much the same. Like all you do is just quickly copy-paste it and put it in. Which is the exact same thing that clicking it does. Hello, Dust Angel. Any plans on doing pointless... wait, what's a HOG again? Halls of Guardian into the future. Oh, no. I will not be running Halls of Guardian again. We are done with Hall of Guardians forever. I never want to see that faction again until we have to. Oh, wait. You mean potionlessly. I thought you said pointlessly. But no, we already did it. We got that done, gosh, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? I forgot the exact date. The video title, I believe, mentions it. But, yeah, we actually have Pure Faction done, as you can tell by our 2,500 renown right over here. But, yeah, we did finally get it completed a little while back. We did that earlier this year. That was probably our biggest achievement we've gotten this year in this game. We finally got that done after many, way too many attempts. But it has been done, and that saved us about 2,500 to 3,000 gems, which is a pretty hefty amount of gems of savings. Let's see. Just use double finesse. Double finesse could work for mana accumulation with this method. I am a big fan of the troop. Oh, wait, not finesse. Wait, I was thinking of a different troop real quick. Wait, which one is finesse? And then you're not referring to finesse or Fanessa. Let me double check. I was thinking you were talking about the Toodaloo troop for a second. Not sure how, because they're not even remotely close. Oh, wow, it's already not one-shotting? That's disappointing. So that's probably not going to work out. But, which one was finesse again? Finesse. What's your ability? Deal damage to an enemy and random enemy. I know that. If the enemy uses yellow, deal double damage. If there's a storm, give 6 mana to all other allies. Seems like it would have the same problem as this one has, in that it wouldn't have enough damage to get the kills. It does give some mana to all other allies, though, which would definitely help keep things rolling a bit. How many yellows are on the final battle? That one I don't know. Well, we'll find out in a second after we do 3 more battles. I don't think the enemy the final battle has enough yellow to make it work. Oh no, I might just give up on Vesperis. Like, it could function. It just doesn't seem like it's one of the more optimal routes to go down. It definitely would work, though. And there we go. Then the other battle, then the final battle. And then we'll probably switch out to the one we were just previously using. And then once we get a little bit deeper, we'll probably test into maybe Iron Gut. I'm still hesitant to Iron Gut, too, just because of the amount of imperviouses. And if nothing else, I do want to get at least one Skull Spam team in. I do keep mentioning that you can use Skull Spam, and haven't actually mentioned one yet. So I do need to actually test what on earth we're going to do with that, because I do want to use some kind of team in that regard. Also, can you get full mana already? That'd be great. There you go. Then we double kill those, double kill that, dead. Obsidius doesn't help much for this stealth with Iron Gut, because the main thing we have to deal with is Impervious. The first battle has 2 Imperviouses, and the final battle has 1 Impervious. So, there's only... okay, there's 3 yellows, never mind. So it does actually cover more ground than the purple one does, with its double damage, because there's 3 of them. So yeah, I would say, rather than using Cunning, it actually would be better to use Finesse, just because it has 3 things that it deals double on, rather than 2. So it's probably better to go into the yellow method rather than the purple method for doing Vespera, if you're going to run Vespera. Not to mention yellow has more of a benefit anyways, because she gets backup yellow-blue summons, which of course one of those colors is yellow. Okay, I'm actually not going to cast this weapon. I almost feel like most of the time we don't even need to cast this weapon. He almost blocks us more than it helps us, it feels like. There we go, we'll take the other mana, and hopefully that's enough for double to double. It hit both the purple ones. Funny. Oh, come on, go. Oh, that was not enough to kill. It's so concerning every single time it doesn't kill. There we go. But yeah, there's 2 purples and 3 yellows on the final battle. So the yellow variant would work out better due to its hard counter to yellows. Anyways, I'm going to go copy paste the other team that we're just using back over. But yeah, we'll show this one. We'll probably show the Urskia Shield variant. We'll show a Skull Spam team, which I do want to get this ever so slightly deeper before we end up messing with. And I guess we'll show a version of Iron Gut just to show the composition to do them with. Because we wouldn't want to use Obsidius because there's 3 Imperviouses. We can't use quite a few of the other options. And I believe the only 2 things that leaves us with is Possessed King and Cursed Effigy. And I'm probably going to go down the Cursed Effigy route, even though that seems a little bit weird compared to using a Mythic. But while it gives us less mana accumulation, his Disable is a lot more consistent than that of Possessed King. And given that we have to deal with 2 Imperviouses on the very first battle, I think the consistency will work pretty well. Because if we're doing Rush Method, half our battles have Impervious on it. So we need some consistency to be able to disable them. And you can't use Stun on Impervious, unfortunately. Curse would be the only option. Or Transform. Transform also would work. But due to the low rate of Possessed King, that might not necessarily be that consistent. Because you don't have a guarantee chance. And Curse Effigy theoretically isn't guaranteed either. You need to have, I believe, Skulls? Or was it purple to boost ratio? I think it's purple, actually. It's either Skulls or purple. But I believe it's purple. But you need that to actually boost ratio it. So it's not guaranteed that you would have enough. But given that the final battle has a blue-purple storm, that should help it out. And hopefully you'll just get lucky on the other battles. Like right here, if it is based on purple, boom, we just got 4. And if it happens to be based on Skull, boom, we just got 3. Pretty sure it is based on purple. I need to go double check, though. I don't use Curse Effigy that often, because very rarely it's viable relative to the other options. But occasionally it does pop up in factions. Not to mention if you need a cheaper option, like if you didn't have Possessed King, that would pretty much be your only option would be Cursed Effigy. Let's see. Yeah, it is based on purple. So basically what this is, explode a gem, curse a random enemy for every purple gem destroyed, and then it gains a bunch of armor and some gold. Obviously the main mechanic that you're using it for being the small amount of board control into the potential 4 times curse if you hit 4 purples, or however many curses relative to how many purples you hit. It's also semi-noteworthy in that it does actually acquire Stone Skin. So it does have some tankiness in that it gains armor into 50% score reduction. You might not necessarily need that mechanic since it's obviously all the way in last slot. However, obviously we're mostly just using it for its curse, more so than anything else. Hey, a web spinner. Hey, I was just mentioning like there wouldn't be a web spinner in first slot. Technically it isn't though. They put it all the way in last slot. I find that really weird. Every like AI kind of composition team has web spinner in last slot rather than first slot. I guess that makes sense relative to what he used to be used for prior to having traits. But ever since we got unique traits for every legend, he is pretty much, or she is pretty much exclusively been a first slot troop and nothing else. Oh yeah, I should have switched metals for the Vespera team. Magic would have been better. 12 magic, you are correct. Let's see. How many times? Oh gosh, why does chat keep scrolling randomly when I'm trying to scroll through? I was just reading something. Where'd it go? How many times did you buy the last potion? Currently 5. I'm not sure if we're going to need more. If anyone has completed it out, do let me know how many you end up spending on it. But currently we're level 200 with 5 spent. I think we might end up needing more. Because this is going to be a really weird pure faction. And I'm not sure if 5 is going to be enough. We might need closer to 7 or something. And if we start doing rush method, we're definitely going to need to go and switch to something else. I mean, not switch to something else, but you know, get more potions in there. Otherwise, we're not gonna be able to get through it. And it's better to get them earlier than later, because the earlier we get it, the more benefit we have as we go through. But yeah, if I start using rush method, we're probably gonna need more packs than I've currently bought. If we don't use rush method at all, we're going to have plenty enough battles. The only concern is, will we have enough stats for the final pure faction? And I 100% want to do pure faction, of course. Not just because if you're already spending potions, you might as well go all the way. But the other reason being that we actually have a +1 magic on the line for doing it. Also, we're already not one-shotting? That's slightly concerning with this. Might be going to skull spam early. Of course, this thing can keep going if we switch out for Urskia's shield. But we would have to make out that change if we wanted to do that. Yes, you can use Iron Gut Zugoff here. That is a team that you can do. It's a rather expensive team. I'll probably show... yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I'll show the double variant of both then. We'll show this and then the upscale version. And then we'll show the cheap version of Iron Gut that doesn't use Zugoff, and then the Zugoff version. The Zugoff version of Iron Gut is Mountain Crusher, High King Iron Gut, Zugoff, and Possessed King is the version of that, where you use Possessed King more so for his mana accumulation than his actual transform, because you end up getting all the transform value off of, or you don't even need a transform value. You can end up just doing that off of Zugoff's instant kill. But yeah, Zugoff is available here. That's an extremely expensive team, though. It's 3 mythics, one of which is the hardest troop to obtain in the entire game. But it would function here, yes. That's also arguably the most meta faction team in the entire game, in any instance where it is applicable. It's only good for upscaling, though. Like, it doesn't start becoming quicker until about 150 or 200, as far as the delve level. And we're currently at, like, what, 80 right now? Yeah, we're exactly at 80 right now, so still a little bit before we can actually use that viably. That'd be a team that would probably run more so tomorrow than today. That's still one we can do nonetheless. Let's see, team that's fast and easy for the delve. Sure, we can go see what that team is real quick. Let me go grab our tribute first. Gotta repair those gems. Already back down to 20,000. It took quite a bit of a hit, but we didn't actually dip under 20,000, so that's nice. What do I want to replace here? Let's replace out the Vespera for now. Unfortunately, I don't feel like Vespera is going to be viable enough to run. Pretty sure some people will still do it, and it's definitely worth going for if you lack some of the other options, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it has the speed to it, which it seems to always be Vespera's biggest issue. More often, also, what team was I looking for? Someone just posted it. Where'd it go? Where are you, team? Also, I really need a better setup for getting these. But at least you guys can see anything that we're doing too, which is useful for some things. However, not so useful for that. But let's see. Oh, I don't have 2 Arachne Weavers. Mistakes were made. But yeah, I actually don't have a second Arachne Weaver, oddly enough. Which is quite surprising, given that I have 2 of quite a few mythics. And multiple of some. But Weaver is surprisingly not one of them. Unfortunately. And of course, you can only use however many of the troop you own in a given team. And I only own 1. So we can't even run that if we want to. Double Weaver is viable occasionally. Mostly because since you're getting them up with enchant, you can double cast it and almost guarantee kill anything. That does eventually stop killing. But for instances where one doesn't kill it, it could be okay. More often than not, it's just better to put other true damage options with it though, if you're going to go down that route. But you can double up on it. I never gotten to test it before though. Let's see. Because we don't own it. Oh yeah, I definitely never want to see Half Guardians ever again. Also, I'm still so far behind in chat. Hello, Glenn! We're almost caught up though. Hello, Whiplash. Hello, Adele. Let's see. We're almost there. Let's see. 2 times Goblin Mythic. 2 times Iron Gut. Interesting. I don't think I even own a second Iron Gut. Hero Essence of Evil with Divinia. The biggest issue with that is having a way to counter Immune to Devour. Oh wait, never mind. Essence of Evil does it. Duh. Essence of Evil actually has double curse too, oddly enough. It has curse on first slot and it has curse on whatever you target. Because you get every negative stats effect in the game. So never mind, yeah, you could use Essence of Evil for that regard. I'm not sure about 2 of the Goblin Mythic though. You normally don't need more than 1 Iron Gut. And also most people don't own more than 1 Iron Gut. Because most compositions only use 1 Iron Gut. He has quite a bit of a mana cost to have to fill if you're going to do it that way. And he doesn't currently have a half mana start. Like, I could see using double Iron Gut, similar to how you use double Ketris, if and only if he ever got a half mana start. But High King Iron Gut does not have half mana start. Best you could do is 20% off of metal. There's currently no way to get him to a full 50, unfortunately. That might change into the future. But as it currently stands, unless I'm forgetting something, there shouldn't be any way to 50% mana start him. If there was, that would change things. Especially if it was a good mana generating troop. Particularly to brown or something that it needs. Vespera works, but hopefully it wouldn't be green because he doesn't actually use green. Even though goblins are kind of centered around that. Vespera works, but you have to loop her a couple times on the other troops to get the magic up. Yeah, I feel like as you're going through, you're going to have to kind of determine, based on your previous battles, about how many times you actually need to cast a Vespera. And the only problem with that is that might end up wasting time, having to cast Vespera that many times. While something like a loop can be pretty quick, I'm not sure if it would actually be similar to how a truffle functions, in that you spam it a couple times in order to kill it out. But I don't know, I guess it's somewhat similar premise. You're just not applying the damage immediately, because you're basically looping it in order to get damage into the future. You're just not getting it up front like what a truffle does. The only concern is that it might take too much time to get it going, compared to other options. I don't know, we could test it again once we get deeper. We already tested out a lower range and it seemed a little bit slower. My concern is just at the higher range. At that point, it'd be quite a bit slower due to the fact that we could just use instant kills at that point. Because it won't just be the only thing that's slower. Almost everything will be slower compared to instant kills once you get deeper. And this team would also completely fall off by then as well. A lot of teams fall off later in delves. This is a natural thing because of how stats increase. I feel like Vespera would work best for the 100 to 200 range. if you were to run it. It's normally how I divide up delves. Delves, there's basically 3 sections of delves. Or 4 if you count pure faction. There's 20 to 100. There's 20 to 100, 100 to 200, and 200 to 500. And then of course there's pure faction. So there's basically 4 main sections of a delve, and the team tends to be different for each section. However, there is overlap for quite a few, and some you could just obviously use for all of them if you really wanted to. It just might be slightly less viable at certain ranges. But I feel like Vespera is the best at 100 to 200, just due to how she functions. So if you are going to go for the Vespera route, I feel like that would be the best range to do it. You could probably push it a little bit further than 200 as well. Obviously, those numbers aren't set in stone. They're just approximations. Also, Quentin's double hit onto the same target generally isn't that good. Well, it's not bad, but like you don't normally need to necessarily utilize it. But for factions, you actually do end up utilizing it quite a bit. And while obviously it will eventually not even be enough damage to actually secure kills, for right now, it's actually pretty nice because we get to hit like 160 damage to a single target when there's only one left, which will easily clean it up if the skulls don't, which isn't that bad. Hey, grab that, grab that. I do want to go into a full skull spam team though. Obviously this team is not a skull spam team, even though it technically has one troop that is centered around that mechanic. The team itself isn't completely around. Vespera is slow but safe. True. I don't know. When was the last time we've really lost elves though? I guess if you have lower stats, it might be worth considering, because safety at that point would be a pretty big concern to actually make sure you win. But with how many stats we're running with between potion effects and our natural stats and the level that we end up upgrading the faction to, I think we're going to be fine for not losing. I don't know. Ever since potions have come out, I don't think we've ever actually lost an entire delve. We might have lost a troop on accident, because that can happen to random skull spam. But I don't know. Unless we got really trolled by like a super massive skull spam, I don't think we've lost a single delve since potions. Like the amount of potions you need to do pure faction. Do you think it is worth getting the last tempering level on Staff of Insanity for the Toad transformation? What do you mean Staff of Insanity? Oh yeah, the new one. Oh wait, they added a Toad to it? Interesting. The weapon is completely useless. The one that they just added, which is why that threw me off for a second. But yeah, as far as the Insanity weapon, it has way too much randomness to be worth it. However, yes, I would say it's worth getting this thing. The little random effect that it has. It's actually the second weapon to have it. Essence of Evil was the... I was thinking Essence of Evil at first, because that's the only thing in the entire game prior to this that has it. But no, yeah, they added it to this weapon as well. But yeah, the 10% transform Toad thing is actually a pretty good mechanic. And it would be helpful in this weapon for sure. I wouldn't really advise using this weapon. This weapon's too random for its own good. And even some of its abilities that are good aren't really worth the mana cost that it would be. But, I don't know, it's just way too random. Everything about this faction is not viable due to overly randomness. Is pretty much the bottom line in that regard. It is a pretty weird weapon. It has 3 random things. It does have a pretty decent explosion, I do have to say, though. But out of 1 in 3 chance, probably not worth it. It has a magic gain, which is decent, but it doesn't apply to magic to itself. It has an explosion, which is decent, but it's 1 in 3 chance. And the other one was, what was the other third mechanic? I forget. And then every cast has 10% chance to transform to Toad. Like, it's not a bad weapon. It's just so random that you'd probably never use it, because it would have no consistency whatsoever. It could do exactly what you want, like get a 12 explode into a Toad transform. Or it could do, like, barely anything at all. And I feel like that doing barely anything at all will occur way more than it doing exactly what you want in a given situation. I think the other mechanic was direct mana? What was it? I literally just read it and already forgot. Let's see. It was, yeah, give 5 anima, and, or sorry, drain 5 mana from all enemies. Oh, you don't get to steal it. That would have been amazing if it was actually steal. Actually, this weapon would be viable if that word was steal rather than drain. Because stealing 5 mana from all enemies would easily fill that up, assuming they have the mana. Even if one of them had immune to mana drain and all of them still had 5, you'd still gain full mana. Unfortunately, that's not what it does. It drains, not steals. But if that was steal magic, I'd probably say this weapon is viable. But because it's drain, not so much. They came so close to almost making a good weapon. I really would like to see a good, viable, random kind of premise. I think the most viable troop in the entire game that has a random mechanic is Divinia. Mostly because that random mechanic helps you cycle through 3 different mechanics rather than being stuck behind one single mechanic. But yeah, out of every single thing in the entire game that has a random factor, I believe, not Divinia, sorry. Diviner is what I meant to say, not Divinia. The Diviner, Divinia does have a decent random mechanic on final trait, but a Diviner probably has the best random mechanic in the entire game, in that it has the chance to cleanse, the chance to cleanse all allies, or the chance to give a magic buff to all allies. And out of all of them, that's just probably the most consistent one. Not to mention it can mana loop a little bit, since it can feed yellow mana to troops, and then that yellow mana troop could feed it mana back with an explosion or some kind of other similar mechanic to feed it mana. Yeah, out of every random mechanic, Diviner feels like one of the only few really good randomness factors. Most other randomness factors fall extremely flat, and every single thing in this faction are a pretty good example of that, where they add these random factors, and not only is random mechanics already bad to begin with, but they're so random and have such bad effects that they're just never going to be used, because they're not worth the randomness. Like, randomness troops can be done right. This faction is the exact example of how not to do random mechanics, though. Which is unfortunate. But if nothing else, it will make the battles going to 500 a bit easier, since everything in the faction is relatively bad. However, the only bad thing about that is it makes pure faction way harder. But everything prior to pure faction will technically be easier, oddly enough. Also, can we please get full mana? Would be great. It's the only bad thing about this team, using that as a mana generator. For when we do later battles, when we switch our Skia Shield, we might end up switching out Harpy. We'll see. The only bad thing about switching out both of them is we lose our Brown Storm. Actually, no, that wouldn't be the case. We still have Brown Storm for the first 4 turns, assuming we're using Titan Hero class like we are right now. However, that'd be a pretty short time limit for later battles. So I don't plan on using this the entire time at all. I mostly just wanted to run this for the earlier ones, of course. And then we splody to full. Or not. And then we mount into full for sure. And he's dead. How are you not dead? There we go. Let's stick the skull there. And down it goes. Do you think it's worth... oh, they might already answer that. Let's see. It seems like the whole faction seems like the devs trying to troll the player base. I wouldn't say that. Like, they even ended up having to buff some of them before they got released, like the legends that they increased the explosion on last minute. But even with those tweaks, they didn't make anything viable. It's still underwhelming with what they do. Okay, we need full mana on you. Let's just take Brown. Probably the easiest way of doing it. And then get full mana guarantee off of that, and then just poke it out. So I probably should have double checked if we had extra turn there. Cockatrice may have just handed it to us. But if anyone has any other team suggestions, do let me know. So the main ones I'll probably show are the 2 variants of this, the 2 variants of Iron Gut. And I probably want to add a Skull Spam team. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother mentioning a Vespera just because we've already mentioned so many at that point, team-wise. Like, it's definitely a route to go down. Like, there's always way more options to use than whatever I ever mentioned in a video. Because if I mentioned absolutely every single option, we'd be in a video for like an hour. I just tend to use the ones I like the most. Which, of course, depending on a person's playstyle, might be something else. And I try to mention a wide enough variety that would cover a lower level range too. Which a scroll spam team would probably be the biggest one that would cover lower level range. Because all you really need is Mang and then like anything. Like you could literally just use skeletons with it. And it would work. Mang with skeletons. That's obviously not advised to do. But it would technically function. A Mang with 3 skeletons behind it. Or a Mang, a mana generator, and then 2 skeletons. Definitely not advised, but it would technically function. That's something I actually need to do. I did that a little bit last year when the Switch version came out. But I need to like cover a video on how to use Mang when it's the only thing you own. Because it's something you do a lot in early game to mid game. Possibly even in late game if you get unlucky on drops. Because it is possible to reach late game with 0 mythics. Like the early part of late game. It's very rare that that would happen, but it is technically possible. Well, this is the Madness faction, so I guess it technically works out that way. It definitely will drive you insane when you're doing pure faction, that's for sure. I'm honestly not even sure the best route to go for pure faction here. I'm almost thinking one of each. In this exact order, except this probably moved up by 1. Otherwise, we'd probably go double Lazarus or Lazara. This would have to tank for sure. And then we'd probably have to exchange out this for that. But this has resummon chance, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Honestly, this does seem like a faction you run one of each. It almost seems like All-Seeing Eye in that regard. Obviously, it's quite a bit different as far as overall. But the general premise of each troop almost seems like All-Seeing Eye. As far as all the overall arcing amount of mechanics that you have. Like, you have a resummon. You have the skull spam. You have a mana... Well, actually, yeah, you have a mana accumulator. The other one was more of a convert than doubling, but it's still the same thing. This just has like a lot of extra random mechanics over top of it. But it shares some similarities with it. Plus it has a tax deal too, which is something that the other troop off of All-Seeing Eye had. So it's almost like a completely random factored version of All-Seeing Eye for pure faction. Except less consistent. Way less consistent than All-Seeing Eye. Like, I'd much rather use All-Seeing Eye's pure faction than this pure faction. But yeah, I think I might just run one of each, to be honest. Seems like the route I might just go for. Because what do you really replace? You need the Impervious guy, so you have 20% dodge and the tankiest out of all 4 of them. You need the doubling blue-purple guy, because you need to fill out your last slot to utilize it with the Storm. You obviously need the Legend, because it's going to be one of your bigger damage sources. And you need the Skull Spam rare, because it'll press damage. And it's the only thing that has resummon on the entire faction. Which is obviously always good for pure faction to have a resummon option. But I think we just go one of each just to utilize the extra stats. I think I end up doing similar for Dark Pits as well. There's a few factions where you actually do just run one of each rather than actually doubling up on anything. Because the Legend just seems too inconsistent to really bother doubling up. Also, its final trait obviously gains no additional benefit from having a second one. Because one of the main reasons why you double up on the Legend in most factions is because its unique trait would probably be beneficial in most situations. However, this is one of those situations where it does literally nothing. Having a second one of it does no additional effect compared to only having one. So this probably will be a faction where you do only run one legend. What do we grab here? Get our mountain going. Also, we'll probably test scroll spam team in a couple more delves. Also, in a couple more delves, we'll probably hand out the code too. Not sure if we'll give out a big code or a normal code. Not even sure what we would base it off of. But we'll see. I'm not even sure how many big codes I have left. The Salty didn't get me more, so if we are going to give out one per stream, we kind of have to. Because I think I have 4 normal codes left. It's either 4 or 3. Yeah, I think it's 3, because if I said we have enough till Saturday, then we should only have 3 then. Not Saturday, I mean Sunday. Let's see, we got our 125 treasure room, 1.2. Oh, so that's something I didn't mention yet. I thought I mentioned it. I was thinking it, but I never mentioned it. This delve has 0 treasure rooms at 100%. Obviously, you can still randomly get treasure rooms. However, there is no guaranteed treasure room. So when I was mentioning earlier that this faction is completely horrible to farm, that's one of the main reasons why. I didn't mention that as a reason, but that is one of the main reasons why. It has absolutely 0 guaranteed treasure rooms, which is obviously bad. Any delve that's like that is bad from a loot perspective. And this is one of them. It's one of those factions that you pretty much just do, and then you never look back. I feel like we've been getting a lot of factions like that. Mirrored Halls wasn't as much like that. Besides from that, a lot of the ones we've been getting recently have kind of been like, you do it and then never look at it again. Just because there's nothing particularly viable about it. And as we keep getting more and more factions, that seems to kind of be the case increasingly. Just because at this point, it's going to be hard for anything to top City of Thieves. Like, you'd have to give a lot of loot for a delve to top out City of Thieves as far as its overall loot they end up getting from, excuse me, from doing it. It's because it has every single room within 1 distance, and has 3 guaranteed treasure rooms. But I believe 2 additional rooms that can also be treasure room. There are delves with 4 treasure room. Actually, only all Hall of Guardians, I believe, that have guaranteed 4 treasure room. However, they're far away from the starting point, which means if they're a Cedric, that actually doesn't help as much. Also, the team compositions that you have available are also quite a bit different, which is relevant what teams are available for various factions, because they can affect the speed at which you can get it done. Yeah, the Toad mechanic, it's a weird mechanic. You can overwrite things that already have, or that are nearly dead. I personally still like it, just because it gives that factor of just getting a free hold disable. But I don't know, it's just another random factor to it. And given that the weapon's already so random, adding a little bit more randomness to it, I really don't feel like it will hurt it much. But yes, if you transform an enemy that's almost dead, they will go back to full durability, essentially. Which is one of the more annoying mechanics related to transform. Because you could basically bring a troop back to life. It would make it a different troop, a much weaker troop, but it would still slow things down occasionally. I feel like the benefit outweighs the possible downsides it will occasionally have, though. Same reason why I have it on Essence of Evil. On Essence of Evil, it's even more of a disable to the weapon. However, I still feel like it's a nice addition. Just because if you get it on first turn, or if you're getting it when you're not targeting first slot, it can be quite a decent effect. Because you basically get to fully disable out 2 troops, in the case of Essence of Evil rather than 1. In the case of that random weapon, you pretty much just get to disable 1 troop rather than 0, depending on what random mechanic it ends up going for. But if anyone else has any other questions, let me know. We'll, of course, make sure to go over them all. Otherwise, we're mostly going to be messing around with the faction and messing around with various teams for that faction. Yeah, what are all the teams we're showing so far now? So we're going with definitely this. We're going for the Urskia Shield variant of this, which we'll make in a moment. We're going for the 2 Iron Gut teams. I don't know. Do I mention Vespera? I might mention the yellow version of Vespera. Or I might just not mention Vespera. We'll see. But we might mention Vespera. Obviously, we need to go mention Pure Faction, which I might as well go build that right now, actually. A couple of these I should probably build right now. But definitely at least this one. Where's Lazarus's Lair? Okay, so we need you to tank. Yeah, it just seems like we go one of each. One other benefit of using one of each in this instance is we get to cover every color. No, we don't. Never mind. We're missing... what's the color it's missing? It's missing brown. Never mind. My bad. We are still missing a color. But it covers every color but brown. Otherwise, we've been missing 2 colors if we switch out one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just go with this. What was the banner for this place again? Because it probably works pretty good for this team. It was a +2 yellow, +1 purple. Do we even want that for this team? Oddly enough, no. What's the other minus browns? Are any of them better? Like, the most optimal thing I can think of is probably a +1 green, oddly enough, into a +2 yellow. No, that doesn't exist, unfortunately. +1 green actually does seem pretty tempting. None of these cover that, though. What's your ability again? Gosh, why are you so useless? Why is everything here so useless? I don't know. I feel like spamming Chaos Hound's our best bet. It seems like it's going to be one of our better strategies. You don't want to use more than one just because you're going to be resummoning him anyways, most likely. Yeah, I'm honestly leaning towards this and just minusing one of Lazarus's blues, because you're going to be doubling it if you're using Crazed Troll, which is probably going to be overkill anyways. Actually, out of anything, I feel like Crazed Troll might actually be the thing we could replace out here. If we were to replace out anything. Also, actually, we could move that Crazed Troll up by 1. Also, did I just recreate the team in the exact order that it appears? I might have. Let's see. Is that the same order as what's ran in the final battle? Because actually it would make sense to move it down 1 so that you can use the tankiness of his regeneration. Otherwise, he kind of gets to just waste it. Yep, that is the exact same order. Huh. I guess it does share that similarity with All-Seeing Eye. I don't know. It honestly has a lot of similarities. Like, it's like if All-Seeing Eye and Hall of Guardians combined into a single faction and then made 1,000 times more annoying. That is pretty much what this delve is. But yeah, it's ran somewhat like All-Seeing Eye. It shares a lot of really similar mechanics, just in complete randomness. And it has, it actually does run the exact same as the final battle, which is the same thing that All-Seeing Eye does. It's one of the only few factions in the game that you do it for. And I feel like this faction is another one, because you'd want to utilize it for its bonus, and you actually want to center the team around the rare, oddly enough, which is something that you almost never do. But the rare seems like the main thing that keeps your team going, mostly because his random effects are all good in the context of Pure Faction. 2 of them are Skull Spam, and the other one is Resummon. And all 3 of those mechanics are going to be useful. Whereas everything else in your team, it has useful ones while having combinations of non-useful ones. So whenever you cast their ability, it's kind of a gamble on if it'll actually help you or not. Which is not good. Also, I just realized my chat is frozen, isn't it? I just noticed it's moving on my thing, yet it's not moving on the other thing. My bad, everyone. That means I haven't been mentioning anything for a while. Let me go backtrack now. I hate when it does that, YouTube. Why you gotta be like that? Gosh, it's gone for a while now. Let's see, I read that. Let's see. Go spend event keys and get another Weaver. I'm not going to go get another Weaver off of event keys. I am not going to waste my keys for that. Also, hello, Adele. Welcome. Hello, Glenn. Let's see. But if I missed anything, feel free to leave it back in chat. Let's see. Yeah, I would not advise using double Iron Gut. Yeah, we might need to try the finesse version of Vespera. I haven't tested it yet, so you shouldn't, because even though we tested the other variant, finesse might end up being better, just because it gets more double damages. But yeah, the safety of Vespera, I don't know, maybe we'll just mention Vespera. I just don't want to mention too many teams, because at this point I think we're going to be mentioning like 7 teams already. Because what's everything we want? We want 2 variants of the Guards Avatar team, though I could lower that down to 1. 2 variants of the oh gosh, what was it called? The Iron Gut team, because we need a cheap variant and the extremely ultra expensive variant. Which is we're probably going to be using the extremely expensive variant for the later battles, I feel like. The other one, I want at least 1 Skull Spam, probably a cheaper version of a Skull Spam, rather than a more expensive one. And then Pure Faction, which brings to 6, and then the 7th would be Vespera, if we do show Vespera. That would definitely be enough teams. What of the current legendaries in Soulforge? Which is better? Krog the Dread or Shadow Dragon? Both are equally 100% useless. Not 100%, but I would not advise crafting either of them. Just get them naturally. You should almost never craft legends in Soulforge. They are a waste compared to crafting mythics, because you're eventually going to have every single mythic in the game. However, you might not have every single... I said that wrong. You're eventually going to have every single legend in the game, but you're not going to have every single mythic in the game for quite some time. It takes a very, very long time to do so. And you, generally speaking, only ever want to spend your diamonds for mythics and weapons and old weapons, stuff like that occasionally. But you mostly want to use them for mythics, as legends tend to be a waste, because you'll definitely have every single legend way before you even have like half the mythics. Do you think it is worth getting the last tempering level? Never mind, I already read that. Let's see. Read that. What faction is the best to spend shards on? It really just depends on what troops you're looking for at a given time. Some things that tend to be pretty good is Amethyrax because of Truffle, as well as Sunken Fleet because of Mirage Queen. But it really just depends on what troop you're looking for or what kingdom you're trying to upgrade. If you're going through 5-star kingdoms, they can help out a lot, since if you're looking for the 1 guaranteed legend, or the 1 legend that you need to upgrade a kingdom to 5 stars, the easiest way to actually get a legend from every single kingdom, oddly enough, is to use Chaos Shards, because the drop rate for those is way, way higher than anything that you would get from a random key. The only exception to that is if the event key is currently available. You could go down the event key route, but event keys are relatively expensive compared to just opening some Chaos Shard portal things. But yeah, it's the easiest way. Chaos Shards are the easiest way to get a legend from a kingdom, and every single kingdom requires a legend to reach 5 stars, which gives you 1 additional stat. Do you know that this is the first faction team without a troop type bonus? All the other factions share a troop type, but this one doesn't. I didn't even notice that they didn't actually share one. I know that the Giant definitely doesn't. I assumed everything else did, though. That's really weird that there isn't one. Like, there's normally one that's off, but very rarely is every single thing in the faction different. I didn't even notice that. Let me go double check. No similarity at all? That's really strange. Because every single faction has, as you mentioned, has some kind of thing going on with it. Let me see. Let's see. Labs versus Lair. Where's the Lair? Where are you hiding? Let's see. Undead Beast, Giant, Monster, or Skia Mystic. Yeah, they have literally 0 overlap. That is very strange. However, you get way more bonus from the faction overlap than you do, and the kingdom overlap, than you do from the what's it called? the typing. The kingdom bonus is always way better than the typing. Because if we build a pure team out of it real quick, you'll notice on our bonuses page that we're actually getting multiple different ones here. We're getting Lazarus's Lair, we're getting Shentang, and we're getting Shentang again. We're basically getting 3 bonuses just for using all from the same kingdom. However, if we were to use all of the same type, we would only get 1 bonus, not 3. So we're getting a lot of bonuses that way. So even though we're not getting any bonuses for the typing, we're getting so many just from using the same from the kingdom, the same from the faction, that it's kind of outweighs the fact that it doesn't really have a 4th bonus. But yeah, we do have these, and we're not going to get that higher. We're just going to run it without it. But still, we do still get 3 bonuses nonetheless. The one for the faction, the one for the kingdom, and the one for having that little extra bonus thing on the kingdom, which you can have up to tier 4, but we only have it at 2. If you have it at level 10, you'll only have it at 2. And I don't think we really want to go and upgrade Shentang. I believe it uses yellow, if I'm not mistaken. It's either yellow or red. Yeah, it was yellow. And we don't even have enough to upgrade it if we wanted to. Nor do we want to. Well, actually, technically we do. We actually have exactly enough to get 50% faction bonus. However, I am not doing that. I don't even think we will end up needing anyways. But anyways, let's go back to the battles. Let's go grab this over here. Finesse 3rd trait is better than Iron Gut. Well, I'll have to give it a shot then. I said we tested around the 100-200 range. We're actually at that now, so we'll go test it next battle. We'll probably show it as the Vespera team for the video. Because I did make mention of her, I might as well show it to you. Because I was mentioning leading up to the faction releasing that Vespera would work. So might as well show one. Maybe someone will mention in the comment section, why didn't you show a Vespera team? So might as well get ahead of that and have one ready. So that'd be 7 teams then. 2 variants of Guard's Avatar, 2 variants of Iron Gut, 2 variants of, or sorry, not 2 variants of that, but 2 variants of those 2. 1 Scroll Spam team that's cheap, 1 Pure Faction team, and 1 Vespera team. And the only 2 that would show 2 on is the 2 variants of this team, because why not? And the 2 variants of, because it's basically like Rowan essentially. And 2 variants of the Iron Gut. The super cheap one and the ultra expensive one that's like arguably the most expensive team in the game. We're pretty much tied at what the most expensive team in the game can realistically be while still being viable. Technically, the most expensive team in the game is 4 Zugofs. But obviously the viability of that is non-existent. So I need to catch up on chat. Let's see. There's like a billion videos I need to make, Lochnar. The list is very, very long. Let's see. How to be on time for stream. We were literally... Actually, when I woke up, it was only 5 minutes late. So I guess we were half an hour late. It happens sometimes. You rest your head down, and then you fall asleep. When you mean to only go down for minutes. It happens occasionally. I think I've probably done it for like a dozen streams so far. Over the course of like 4 years. So it's not too high of a rate. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I do need to start making up a new list of videos I need to cover. Because I'm starting to lose track slightly. Maybe you get a sad panda. Yes, that's the most redeeming quality of this faction. Yes, Mirrored Halls has 4 treasure rooms. It has 4 guaranteed treasure rooms. The only downside of it is they are not adjacent to the starting room. One really interesting mechanic that City of Thieves has is every single room, except for the final boss room, obviously, But every single room aside from the final boss room, which no faction has that way, but every single room is one room off from the very first battle. So you can get a treasure room very, very quickly. So if you have a Cedric in play, you actually get the full benefit of a Cedric compared to any other faction. The biggest downside of City of Thieves, of Mirrored Halls, is the treasure rooms are, I believe, 3 rooms away. You have to do 1 battle, 2 battle, or sorry, 4 rooms away, which ends up delaying them a lot, especially if you have something like a Cedric in play. So it's might seem like it might be better, given that 4 is more than 3, but not necessarily, because you get a lot less loot off of something like a Cedric room. Not to mention, you do have random treasure rooms that you can get in City of Thieves, whereas I'm not sure how many Hall of Guardians actually has in that regard. It is possible that you actually get a 5 treasure room City of Thieves, even though you're normally going to be getting like a 3 or 4. What's Yellow Vespera? It's the one that uses double of the, I keep forgetting his name. That new yellow Guardian troop. The one that ended up coming in with epic tasks. And now we could just use one other mana generator with it to set it all together. And pretty much just go from there. I'm not sure what I want to use for the mana generator for it. But I'll mess with something for it for sure. What was the one that was suggested earlier? Because I'm not sure if I'd want to go down the Harpy route. Oh yeah, we could always use weapon for it. We're not using weapon for anything, duh. We could use any weapon in the game. So we could use like Essence of Evil or some kind of other mana accumulation method through that. Because that's not color restricted. So it would allow us to cover more colors too. And not have to be restricting the yellow purple. Hey, we could have done a purple mana generator too. Probably might as well go down the hero route. Not to mention we can get Perpetual Yellow Storm too, if we go down that route. Which is worth considering. But anyways, let's go build up that team. Let's see. So what is everything we need for that? If we're going to build up a Vespera team in that regard. Where's the Spirit team slot? Let's do it over top of this. Also, I need to start renaming some of these. Let's rename this to Vespera. That's Vespera. How do you spell Vespera, right? Hopefully. We'll find out. That's how you spell Vespera. So we need Vespera. We need gosh, I keep forgetting its name. Easiest way to find it is to go to Guardians. Double Finesse. And then we just need a mana accumulation method. What do we want? I think we go Hero, set to Strix, and then just run mana accumulation on it. And this also gives us Perpetual Yellow Storm. We don't have this maxed yet? I'm actually surprised. Huh. We can get 1 attack per turn off of Strixes. But yeah, never max this thing. Go for the explosion, some extra yellow attack. Fairy Fire when something dies, I guess, because nothing else is really good here. Some extra yellow magic, some cleanse, and some extra life. Okay, we'll just roll with that. And now we just need a good weapon for it. Let's see. What weapon do we want? I'm almost leaning towards Essence of Evil. Though a yellow weapon would probably work best, technically, in that we need it for Vespera. So we could run like Doomed Axe or something. And that could also help press damage. That's a lot of yellow to be using, but we're probably going to loop it enough that it's fine. Oh no, I guess we'll go down the pure yellow route. Okay, do we want to tank with Hero or do we want to tank with Finesses? Or do we want to tank with Vespera, even though that's a bit risky? I think we don't want to tank with Vespera. I guess we'll put Hero in first. It's the best chance of not dying compared to anything on this team. We could use one of the Finesses. Let's see. You're still one-shotting with 2-click Leprechaun into Phoenicia Sunspear team. Yeah, you can one-shot for a decent amount of time. That does eventually stop one-shotting, though. Let's see. Finesse goes first. We could use 1 to Finesse to sacrifice it. And do it like that then. And have a sacrificial finesse. Or actually, even double finesse to sacrifice both of them. If we don't want to keep, or if we do want to keep the Doom Dax. I don't think I've ever ran Vespera last slot. The hero is tankier, but if we lose it, we lose a whole unique mechanic compared to Finesse. Let's see. Oh yeah, Stone Skin. Duh. I completely forgot he had Stone Skin. 100%. Duh, never mind. Yeah, we'll go with him there. Yep, Stone Skin would make that more viable. That would definitely work. But anyways. I see what you mean now. Anyways, we need better banner now. Probably yellow, purple, or yellow, blue. What do we have for these options? Oh yeah, we could use the new banner. We're not using brown for anything. +2 yellow, +1 purple. Actually, I'll probably want a +2 yellow, +1 blue. Does that exist? I mostly say that because of, if we end up getting a summon. Yes, it does. Because if we end up getting a backup summon, if that happens to happen off of the Dijin, we'd be creating yellow and blue. So just for that reason, we'll go down that route. Also, this denies out purple, so that's even more of a reason. So yeah, we'll go with this then. Stormcaller, Vespera with double finesse, Doom Dax, and Shabanu. Oh, I need to go copy that. Copy. And now we can paste it into our team slots. Fight, paste. And should be good to go. Alright, let's see how this goes. Should be pretty well. We have Yellow Storm. We have double score reduction. We have a lot of stat gain. We have Doom Dax for scroll spam. And, oh, I do need 20% mana start, though. And to switch to magic. So I do need to switch up my tokens after this battle. Oh, and also it does double the yellows. And the whole first battle is yellow. And 3 of the final battle is yellow. Let's see. Let me go change that out. Let's see. We'll take that. Vespera goes second. Why would it matter where she is if she's blocked on yellow? Her location can be wherever at that point. And given the coloration of the team, we can actually use her all the way in last slot. And just kind of use her for a backup summon. Because everything else is tankier than her. As far as if we're just comparing it off of tankiness. Because 2 of them have Stone Skin and Hero just has higher durability. Well, yeah, I guess you get a little bit less yellow into it. But you'll have Enchant for that. And you're already going to be blocking most of its yellow anyways. But yes, the main reason you would normally use Vespera the second is so that the blocked color would go directly into it. What do we want to do this on? Probably the axe. That or first slot. Are like the 2 main ones we'd want to buff up. Snowy Owl on one, you could, I guess, go for Snowy Owl. Haven't used it for a while. It's one of those weird commons that is very rarely used, but it actually is meta in some instances. I don't feel like you would actually switch out for it, though, in this situation. Because you kind of want to run double the finesse so you get more stats per extra turn. Just so the stat increase goes quicker. For earlier battles, like where we're at right now, it probably doesn't matter as much. But for later battles, it does. Also, one interesting thing about this team is you actually want to deliberately not get kills, as weird as that may seem. Mostly because you want to clean up if you're using the axe version. You actually want to clean up with an AoE axe. So it's better to distribute your damage rather than focusing all on getting kills. This is something really important to kill. Then why not put hero in last slots? We could end up doing that. It would work out either way. Because we could still use excess yellow into it too. Like anything would benefit from getting the yellow. And this does mana generate like Vespera, or it does have a mana generation method. Obviously, it doesn't mana generate as well as Vespera, but it does have mana accumulation on it. So theoretically, we could even put it in second slot if we wanted to like fill it up quicker. But yeah, whatever you do put in the second slot would fill up quicker. In this case, we're just going with double finesses because it also has a skull reduction towards it. But I'm not really seeing much of an issue in getting it up. Like, she's still her normal slow self. Having her in second slot isn't going to make too big a difference. The only main difference it would make is, like, right now, if we take a yellow, mana would go into her. Whereas right now, it doesn't go into her. However, since she has enchant at start, what we can do instead is use these turns to pass our turns. And then we gain enchant mana to her instead. So she's still gaining mana in one way, just a different way. They really is agile that. How annoying. Also, you don't have enough damage to kill while you're webbed. Also, that's going to be annoying. Web is actually a pretty big hard counter to this team. All of our damage, or most of our damage, is actually based on that. Unless we get like a good skull spam in there. What about Dawnbringer or Crown? I'd probably go Dawnbringer if you didn't have Doomed Axe. The barrier option would be nice. Okay, we'll take that down for now. Grab our yellow, grab our brown. Oh, never mind, I took away my brown. Let's go kill out the cockatrice since we have the double damage on it anyways. Get her full mana there. Do we have alignment there? Good enough. We'll go for that. And he's dead. Yeah, this actually does work pretty well. Surprised to see Finesse actually getting into something. It almost makes me want to max out this hero class now. Because Yellow Storm into it is pretty viable. I never realized how viable that actually was with Vespera. We've made multiple yellow teams with Vespera, but never have I brought out the finesse for it. Let's see. Well, actually, I gotta grab Skull here. Actually, no, I'm not. I thought that was a move. My bad. You guys are playing tricks on me. Now it's a move. So we'll grab that. Take another poke here. Do it on the highest durability. And it should be dead. You're doing level 400 Hall of Guardians with it? Yeah. Yeah, it can work anywhere where you have access to yellow. As long as you're allowed to use yellow, you can do it. Theoretically, you could even do this for Guild Wars, so I would not advise it. This would not work as well for Guild Wars. It is way too slow of a start for Guild Wars. For factions, it's not too slow of a start, just because nothing really kills you that quickly for the most part. Oh, so nice. It gets the card counter of Val Ravens too, since it does extra to yellow. It's a kind of convenient mechanic. So we don't need to worry about Val Ravens escaping as well, since we can actually just directly target it with it. Let's see, I'll move that. Yeah, this team's growing on me. It's interesting. We'll take that for now. Take it again. Grab our mana back up. And that's pretty much match. And then we just throw a pokety poke at him. You did use it for Guild Wars? What did it score? My only concern with this in Guild Wars is way too slow of a start. For factions, it doesn't matter because you get explosions at start plus enchant. And right now I'm playing... The main reason I have Vespera all the way in last slot and not in second slot is mostly due to the enchant mechanic. If it wasn't for enchant mechanic, she actually probably would be in second. But the whole reason why we have her in last is she's going to have full mana anyways. Because we're going to cast these prior to her. Get our 2 hits down, and that will waste 2 turns. Which that alone will be 4 mana. On top of the fact that we're already getting 2 for the very first turn. On top of all the mana that we're already accumulating from the very starting explosions. So with all those potion effects, it makes it so Vespera kind of already has our mana. But in a Guild War context, that would not be the case. She'd struggle a lot more to get it. And in that case, you definitely would use it in second. But even then, she might be too slow to get it up. But like right now, our turns will just keep passing to the point where she's pretty much just passively going to gain full mana automatically. Because we'll throw a poke, we'll throw a poke, we'll throw a poke. And by then, she's essentially already going to have full mana. Not to mention these things actually give mana to everything else. So even if she doesn't naturally get it, she'd still get it up that way. Because these things give pretty good value. You gain 18 up to 18 potential mana per its cast, which is more than it's even initially costing. That's enough to kill. Don't even need alignment. Hello, VHA. And thank you. Yeah, quite a few teams can end up clearing out pretty quickly. A lot of things in endgame do tend to go pretty quick as far as battles. Mostly because once you have so many stats, everything kind of just melts. And even in other situations where it does go slower, you tend to have decent team compositions that can deal with it. Let's see. Also, hello, Whiplash. You can't remember, but you think it was 9k plus for what? When Vespera is second, you get the Vespera cast real quick. Yeah, you'd get it almost instantly when you do end up getting it. I'm just finding it a little bit better to get the mana to everything first, because that will indirectly give you the Vespera. It works either way. Let's see. Well, we could test the next faction in second. And just move it up one. But yeah, VHA, if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure to go over everything. If anyone has any questions, also let me know. Let's see. We'll grab, let's take the mana for now. Grab poke, full mana, Vespera spam. Like, this is the main reason why I like having these two up first. Like, you just poke, and then you can Vespera if you want. So in this case, I think we're just going to AoE it instead. And that should end the battle. We're really close, and then we just cast that. How's the stream going? Pretty well. And what is the team we're using today? Quite a few things. We'll be covering a video on it after stream. I meant to cover it beforehand, but sleep. But no, at this point, this is probably the main team we're going to be using for a good majority of the time. I'm not sure if it'll fall off at a certain point, but for now, it's definitely working. But we have several teams that we're going to be using. We had we were initially using the AoE kind of oh, what's it called? Kind of like the Rowan version, but with Guard's avatar. So we were running with that. I still want to build up a skull spam team for people that don't have any better troops. Because a lot of these other teams I've been showing have at least one mythic on it. And that kind of option wouldn't have any mythics at all. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Basically, a Guard's avatar team, this team, a skull spam team, and then of course pure faction when we get to it. That's mostly what we've been messing around with. Still haven't tried a pure faction. I mean, we still haven't tried a skull spam yet, though. We'll need to soon. Skull spam normally works best around, or starts working around 150 plus or 200 plus, around that general range. You can do it a bit earlier than that too, of course. Prior to that, other options tend to be a little bit better. Oops, that's not what I should have hit. I should have hit her. But, oh well, won't matter, because I will kill it out. Cough 3 times finesse. We could. We could replace out hero. However, at this point, I kind of don't want to replace out hero. And the main reason for this is Oh, unless we replace out Vespera, I guess. If you wanted to keep it super cheap. I guess you could go down that route. But I have to keep Hero on this team. Not even for the Yellowstorm necessarily. More so, well, obviously Yellowstorm is beneficial. But the main reason I want to keep Hero is free class XP. We get 2 XP towards our class every single battle we do here. Which is obviously quite beneficial. But at this point, yeah, we could replace out Vespera. But I don't think we'd really have anything else to replace out at that point. So yeah, I guess if you needed a super cheap variant of this team, you can literally just run 3 finesse with like a weapon. Or even literally just 4 finesse. At that point, why not just go all in? That's a little overkill and I would not advise it. But it would work. It's also really cheap. Finesse is a common that you get really easily off of seal keys. Half the drops are them. And you have a 1 in 12 chance, assuming you haven't maxed out any of them, to get them per key. So what does that come out to percent-wise? It's a 50% chance to get a 1 in 12 chance. I'm not sure what that comes out to. But that's your percent chance of actually getting a copy of him per seal key that you open. And you get like 100 of them a week. Assuming you do the full amount each week. That's a lot. That should be dead. Is there anywhere to see your team builds recommendations for the different delves? I haven't made one completely uniform video for it yet. I really need to. Eventually. Especially once we have every delve, but obviously we'll cover one prior to that because every single delve won't be in the game for at least like another half a year to a year. Actually more like a year. But yeah, we will have to cover it in the near future. This one kind of master video again. I have in the past, but I think at the time only like 5 factions existed. Obviously now there's, what, 14, I think? So we do need to make an updated video to that. Of course, we make a video independently of every single faction. However, I've never combined them all into one video yet. Just because it would be a rather long video. But we'll still need to do it eventually. Like, that video is going to be over an hour long. Even if we only spend 5 minutes per faction, the video would be an hour long. Let's see. I'll take that. What video is it? The video hasn't been made yet, if you're talking about one of all of them. But, we've covered a video for every single independent faction. And while the meta may have shifted some since those factions existed, most of the teams still would work that were mentioned in them a while back. Of course, some would need to be updated. Like what you would run for something like Hall of Guardians is way different now than what you would have ran when it first came out a year and a half ago. Actually, I don't even think Iron Guy existed at the time. So it'd be a lot different than what it was. But quite a few other ones wouldn't be as big of a difference. For example, City of Thieves, which came out several months ago, was still recent enough that there'd be basically no difference between what you would run for it now compared to what was showed in the video. Did he really just get Devour on us? Let's see. Let's get a Doomdax in there. Grab ourselves another Pokety Poke. Do it on you, I guess. Luckily, Curse does not prevent us from gaining any stats, like other disables. I still wish Poison would prevent you from gaining HP, and Burning would prevent you from gaining armor. That's not currently how they interact, but it would be nice. It'd be a great way to make both of them buffed without actually making them super broken. Because you can block attack gain, you can block magic gain, but there's currently no way to block HP gain, and no way to block armor gain. Who knows? Maybe they'll eventually add it. It'd be a convenient way to buff it without making it super overpowered. Either of them. Because both of them are rather underwhelming later in the game. But if they could actually stop those respective stat gains, it would make them a little bit better than they currently are. Still rather underwhelming, but slightly less underwhelming. Like a 6 mana is actually not enough to feed it, so I'm actually going to have to go and give the mana right there. Get our Doom. Feels so weird not having 2 of it. Which goes so much slower when you only have 1. How's my day been? Pretty good. Currently just been going through the faction, of course. What class did you use on this? Right now we're using the Stormcaller class. The one that has Yellow Storm perpetually. And the main reason for that is to keep the team rolling. And also because we need class XP. And also because it counts as Strix, and this thing gives a lot of bonus to it. And we normally have 2, but one of them got devoured randomly. The annoying devour mechanic. Which makes it so we get mana so much slower on Vespera. When we have double, it works well. Single, not so much. Still works though. We'll go for a poke. And then one more follow-up will kill. Not if it misses though. Come on, literally a skull would kill at this point. Let's see, let's take a... You know what, I'm actually gonna do this. I was hoping we'd get extra turn. I really wish they would buff Zision. It's been useless since it was released. And the fact that a Mythic now summons it, it'd be nice if it was actually somewhat viable. Like right now it's just completely useless. Other than its coloration. Its traits don't do anything. Its ability doesn't do anything. And it's one of those either or kind of things that isn't even a good either or. It's like the entirety of this faction. It's one of those random troops that doesn't have anything good. Where like essentially every aspect on it's completely random. Except on this one, at least one's guaranteed. The life is guaranteed, whereas the other ones are just pure randomness. And chaos. Okay, we don't have mana for that, so let's go throw it down to you. Hopefully have alignment, or just do it again. Hopefully have alignment, and we do. Throw down the axe. Put our big axe in there. And that just wipes everything with a high skull damage. Not to mention it does double the yellows, which does get multiplied by the Doom Skulls as well. So basically every single Doom Skull is doing 10 damage rather than 5 additional damage, which adds up pretty quick, given the Doom Skull amount. Okay, what do we want here? Let's grab a blue over there. Grab a, what do we even want at this point? Yeah, we'll go for a double poke there. It's so clunky playing this team with one whole troop down. Definitely not as good without it. Not like we had a choice in the matter. Okay, so we'll grab that. Take herself a Doom thing. Get her pokes in there. Trying to buff something that can't even get stats, but there we go, get the kill. And then on to the last one. Alright, never mind, we got 2 more. One more little room over here. And then the last one. Not sure if we're going to start using skip method soon. So far, we've obviously been going through every single thing completely. I'm tempted to consider skipping. Well, they were going relatively quick, all things considered. Though they start getting slow around like 200, 250. Is when they start to normally noticeably get slower at that point. Fortunately, no alignment, so we'll just go and make ourselves an alignment. Or not. And then we'll go poke them. Get a beefy hit down, and that's enough to kill because we actually got a magic buff somewhere in there. Nimbus bow? Yeah, doesn't that create green and yellow and green based off of Strix or something. It's either Strix or the Kingdom. Both of which would be applicable. Or actually, never mind. Only Strix would be applicable. So I assume it's Strix bonus then. But if that's what Nimbus Bow was, it would actually work pretty good. The only problem with that for showing it for videos is an old event weapon. Yeah, yellow and blue. So it would work out pretty well. I feel like most people would have, or more people would have Doom Dax compared to Nimbus Bow though. But I guess technically even Doom Dax is an old event weapon. But either way, it's both old. At which point either one could be switched out for Finesse, a third Finesse. So it does give him some extra turn skulls. Even if he gets a kill at this point though, it shouldn't matter. It's our final battle. The previous kill, that one mattered. This one, not so much if we die here. As long as we have one troop surviving to the end. And of course we only get 20 points instead of 30 because we did not get Deathless. That was Nimbus Bow again. It was, it should be the one that boosts based off Strix. Yeah, it was that one weapon I said would be pretty good into the future because of this hero class. And, yeah, with Finesse, it does end up synergizing pretty well. The blue goes to Vespera, the yellow goes to, of course, everything. And he uses green, purple. Oh, that's the only downside, though. Doesn't use yellow. Thought it might have had yellow in it. But, that's a little bit of a downside compared to using that. I think I'd stick with Doom Dax. Mostly because it would mess up Vespera's cast a bit. Anything that isn't directly pure color could potentially mess up her cast. But now we get quicker battles, now that we get our mana up easily off the things. Oh yeah, you could do it with triple Finesse as well. And just drop the Vespera. That would also work. Because, yeah, otherwise the bow would conflict with Vespera. Not like excessively, but enough to make it so you wouldn't want to use both together. Let's see. We could always mention it as the cheaper variant. Only problem is any way we mention it uses a weapon that that some people might not have. But you can always just replace it for another finesse, the weapon. Have 4 finesses. Regardless, we'll have something else to mention for it. Like 4 finesses, like obviously you wouldn't necessarily want to do that. But in the context of factions with potions and everything, that wouldn't be horrible. By the time you get your first finesse up, your 6 mana will basically fill up every other finesse. And you just go to finesse to finesse to finesse to finesse. And you basically have an infinite loop finesse. You know what? I almost want to do that just for fun. You'd basically almost use it like you use Dwarven Gates, essentially. I want to do it now. It must happen. We have to go use 4 finesse. Don't underestimate the 4 finesse. Let's see, we'll throw that down. I kind of have to do that now. That seems like too much fun. Let's see. Obviously, there's better options out there. Oh yeah, never mind. With Nimbus Bow, you wouldn't actually have to worry about the confliction then on some of the mana. Because you would just get it up off a finesse triple. Because triple finesse would be full mana for it. Only if a storm is active. You have it off a hero though. Oh wait, never mind. Oh yeah, duh, you wouldn't have it off himself. Never mind. Yeah, you would have to have one other option, wouldn't you? I forgot about that. Yeah, you kind of have to keep the hero, don't you? Because he doesn't provide his own storm. Never mind. Yeah, you would have to keep the hero. And if nothing else, we can class XP. So even more of a reason to keep it. So yeah, 3 is the highest you would ever be able to get away with. Because you have to keep the fully traded Stormcrawler on your team. The weapon can change, but it being on your team can't really change. Oh, this team code? Sure, I can go get his team code real quick. Also, here's a tribute. Can we get something good? 11. Nice. Also, let's grab all these scraps before I forget. Okay, let me go get you that team code. I don't have it on copy paste right now, so let me go get it. What's the easiest way of getting it? Oh no, I can't get it from there. Did I save it in my teams? Let's see. There we go. Oh yeah, I can't paste it here. I keep forgetting. So we won't do that. Let's go do it over here. I need to keep just a thing up where I can easily do this. Let me pause my stream trying to play an ad for me. Paste that right in there, and there you guys go. There is the team code for what we're using right now. Posted right over there in chat. I should probably mention that's Vespera team. Vespera Finesse team. I think I spelled Finesse wrong. Probably. But there you guys go. There's a Vespera Finesse team. The one that we're currently using right now. Banner and everything. Okay, let's switch over to this, back to here. But yeah, we will be having a video after the stream that'll have the full layout of all the things. So if you need them for reference for any other part this weekend, they will all be down, including Pure Faction and everything. I will probably be doing Pure Faction tomorrow night. Because it seems about the time at which we'd reach it. Depends if we do Rush Method or not. Theoretically, we could have it by almost tonight if we did Rush Method. Well, no, we'll see at what point we do start doing Rush Method. If we did the entire time, we'd literally have it done in the very first stream. But that's rather expensive to do, with how many battles you would end up needing. Oh yeah, I never did try Vespera in second. I don't know exactly why you would want to, though, necessarily. Because double finesse kind of already gets things going into the Vespera. And the slight issue with going Vespera a bit early is she can miss. Whereas this thing giving you 6 consistent mana is never going to miss. Because there's nothing to miss. Because by the time you cast 2 of these, Vesperas are going to have full mana. By the time you rotate back around to her. And like that, she can miss. So I'm not sure if you'd necessarily want to rush her immediately. I should have won an AoE there. Because I then could have killed. If I would have done AoE and then used that ability, we actually already would have won. But never mind, we already did one because we gained enough magic on that to kill. Not paying attention to how many magic gains we get because it's a little hard to see every single time since so many things are going on. The chat issues are making this stream hilarious. Well, I caught up with chat, though I did miss some things earlier. If I did miss anything, do let me know, and I can go over it. We'll take the yellow for now. Get our pokety pokes. What do we want to throw that on? We'll just do that for now. Get another hit somewheres in there, and just kind of go from there. Get her poke down, get the other thing down. We're going to just go do a little bit of convert, get our AoEs, and he's dead. Yeah, we'll try it in second slot for this next battle. For 170. Also, we'll hand out a redeem code once we reach all rewards. If I'm not mistaken, all rewards points should be pretty soon. Which banner would you use with 3 times finesse and Nimbus Bow? Probably a +2 yellow into a +1 green or purple. Into either or. But definitely a +2 yellow. Once you get it rolling, it wouldn't even matter what it is. As long as you have +2 yellow, that's the main thing that matters. Because that's the main thing you need to get it started. And then after that, you just have infinite mana. As long as you don't mana drain you. Okay, we'll take this battle and then we'll try Vespera in second slot. So how far are we on rewards? Oh, never mind. We won't give out code at all rewards. We'll do it a bit earlier than that. Thought we were a bit closer than that to it. Didn't realize it was that far off. I keep forgetting how far you actually have to go to get all rewards. I think you have to do like 250 or something? Or like almost 300? I think it's slightly under 300. I don't think you have to go to 300. It's like slightly under. It's pretty far though. Like at that point, you might as well just go all the way. If you're gonna go all the way, you might as well go all the way, as in pure faction. Otherwise, you pretty much do the free battles. You do it kind of like how you do a Tuesday faction event. Let's see, we'll go for that for now. Because honestly, if you're doing as much to go to that point, you might as well go to 500. If you're bothering to go to 500, you might as well just do pure faction. Unless you just really do not have the stats to do it. At which point it was a little bit of a waste to even go to 500 then. So you pretty much just do it for free or you go all in. Bounty Hunter I feel like is kind of the same way. Where you're either all in or you don't do any. If I don't do any, I mean just like not buying any packs. Obviously you still do the event. But it's either pretty much all in or nothing. Similar to Bounty Hunter. Okay, let me go change this real quick just to see. So we'll see how this goes. I personally don't feel like this would work as well. I'll give it a shot. This would work better in a Guild War context. But with potion effects, I don't think it would matter. Because of enchant. You actually want to rush Nimbus Bow? Why would you want to? Why is everyone going for the rush on the mana generator with this team? I feel like you'd want to rush the finesses, more so. Because while you would gain extra turn off of, like, if this was Guild Wars, I would say the exact opposite. But, in something like Factions where they can't really kill you easily, you'd want to give them turns. Like, it's perfectly fine to give them turns. Like, obviously, you'd want to do Nimbus Bow to not lose your turn if it was a situation where you could die. Same as Vespera. You'd want to get Vespera up quickly so you wouldn't die. But if you have almost no chance of dying on a battle, which you would until, like, the really late faction levels, like 400 plus, 300 plus, you can just give up your turn and it wouldn't really matter. Like, the whole point of using Vespera and the other one would be that you wouldn't end up dying. Third trait. What about the third trait? Yeah, you would gain additional stats, but you don't need that for upscaling until later. If that's what you're referring to. You also have to factor in the amount of time that you're taking to loop. But yes, he gains 4 to all stats per extra turn, which actually is 8 to all stats because there's 2 of them. Or, you know, however many you have. But you wouldn't need that until you get to the way later ones. And double casting him anyways gives the full mana. Like, you're going to be casting Vespera regardless of which order you do it in. Yeah, that's literally the whole point. But you get to that point regardless, is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter if you get there one cast earlier or not. It still leads to the same result. You fill up your first slot, you cast them, and then you cast the other one, and then you cast Vespera. Vespera's location doesn't change that mechanic. You do that, and then you cast Vespera. It doesn't matter if she's in second or she's in fourth or where she is on your team, as long as she's not in first. That order of progression is going to be the same. The only thing that putting her in second does is it does allow her to get mana a little bit easier. But when you have enchant and potion effects, she gets it naturally. Like, I could see the argument for it if it was Guild Wars. But outside of Guild Wars, I don't know, I just don't really see a point in having her in second. Like, she's already at 7 mana. And then the 2 6s are going to bring her to full. And as you can see, she's now full mana. And then we cast her, and then you repeat. And regardless of her position, that will happen. Because every single one of those mana accumulation methods that we just did, it does not matter where her location is. She gets all of that mana. But you can run it whichever way you prefer. They're both basically the exact same thing. I just prefer it the other way, personally. But when you have all these potion effects, they both work pretty much the exact same way. I see no difference, personally. Because your strategy is still the exact same. You cast this one, you cast that one, you then do Vespera. And our order doesn't change that. Okay, I guess in this one particular instance it does. No, I guess not, because we take a purple, which would have filled her anyways. Let's see. She actually had a little bit less mana that time. Does happen occasionally. Depends how the starting board goes. That a follow-up mana accumulation would have been applicable regardless of her location. You'll notice at higher level delves. Well, maybe we'll change it back at higher level delves. But mana accumulation shouldn't be any different at higher level delves. Yes, we'll need more stats to go and loop her probably a little bit more at that point. But her mana accumulation wouldn't change. The way she accumulates mana would still be the exact same method. Regardless of what the difficulty is of the battle, stat-wise. It would just change the amount of stats that we would need to go and get from spamming extra turns on her. Oh, so where's all the yellow? It's like one of the first boards we had with no yellow on it. Oh, I should have used Doomed there. Mistakes were made. Not that big a deal though. And obviously he's dead already. Okay, hey, we actually get Vespera first for once. Before anything gets full mana. Due to how the Cascades went. See, now that's a benefit of having her in second there. Let's see. Alright, no, it wouldn't have been. Because the first one didn't even gain any mana. So never mind, we did it purely off of blue and purple. However, if we did Cascade a bunch of yellow, I guess that would have been a little bit more applicable. But we'll get the double poke there. Oh, no, I still prefer her being in last. Just because I like casting the first two first anyways to get things rolling. And with them being next to each other is just easier to cast. And not like it would be applicable that often. But if you happen to start losing for whatever reason, it also allows you to have double stone skin. Which I highly doubt that's going to happen for any of these battles. But of course, if your stats are a bit lower, it could be applicable. However, if you're going for 500 pure factions, you likely have enough stats that it wouldn't matter. You rarely use the top finesse so that the yellow generator goes to the bottom finesse and doomed axe. Why though, when you could feed everything simultaneously though? Because they give mana to everything. He gives 6 mana to all allies per cast. And that's one of the reasons for using triple of them. Because you can use it kind of like Dwarven Gate. Okay, we'll take that down. You could do somewhat similar with 2. Because we haven't tried taking any of her mana. She's at full. I don't know. There's no wrong way of doing it. Like, every single one of these methods works. Where can you get finesse? She's in the, or it's in the guild key drop table. Half your drops will be guardian drops. And you have a 1 in 12 chance, assuming you haven't maxed any of the guardians yet, that that guardian will be finesse. And you get seals from doing stuff in your guild. You probably already have gotten multiple before. You do have to be in a guild in order to get them, though. But pretty much anything gives you seals. Like literally just doing battles gives you seals. Pretty much anything in the game does. You can get up to 2,000 per week, which is 100 keys, which would definitely give you a few copies of it. Yeah, we could try the Nimbus variant of it. See how it works out. You just spent 8 keys to get a legendary finesse. Nice. And one nice thing is, once you get all the Guardians maxed, they're maxed forever, so you stop getting additional drops of them. So they don't block the drop table. Don't you dare escape. Good. Valraven trying to cost us another 200 gems. What are you doing, Valraven? Let's see, we'll throw that down. Throw it again. Actually, let's just Doomed Axe, and that's a kill. Yeah, Finesse uses a lot of yellow. You can farm them in White Helm. Yeah, I assume he meant 8,000 seals and not 8,000 keys. 8,000 keys would be pretty high amount. Yeah, generally when trading things, you can do major orb. I mean, not major orb, but you can use a small orb of wisdom on his second or third trait to save having to grind it out. You can do an either or both. Eh, one more hit, we'll take it out. Too bad there's not an easy way to figure out exactly how much damages they're going to go down to before you cast. Otherwise, we know exactly how many extra turns we have to do to make sure they kill. Because if we would have done one more extra turn there, he actually would have killed a turn earlier. It's hard to tell exactly how many we would need. And I'd be dead. It also went for Doom Weapon there for quite a bit of damage and an extra turn. We already won, so it won't matter. So hello, Capera. Welcome. Oh, what do we even want here? All of it looks bad. Anything that doesn't have yellow, it's all bad. Pretty much any non-yellow board. Alright, we'll grab that, get a pokes. And I was double poke it. Get one more of these. And double poke should hopefully be enough. Never mind, single poke. I forgot they're both yellow. Didn't even need to do that. Vispera would just died anyways to the double. Yeah, we'll go for that because we'll have full mana regardless next turn because of the enchants. I'll grab that just so he doesn't grab it. And that too, just so he doesn't grab it. Oh, first thought didn't die. Now it did. And then we just double kill clean with that. Easy enough. Okay, what do we need? Let's grab a red right over there. Get that going. Grab herself a purple over there. See if we can get a yellow somewhere here. We'll just take that over there. And then we get over pokes. Easy double damages. And it should be enough to wipe on next hit. Don't even need a double hit. Actually, yeah, we do. Even with the double damage, did actually need the double hit. Technically, it's quad hit. Because we're doing double damage and it's hitting twice. So whatever value's on the card is pretty much just doing 4 times more of them. I don't want that. Should probably hit last slot there. So we could have skull spammed into following turn. Oh, don't summon. You have a 1 in 3 chance. Stop getting lucky. I always have to double cast this now, and that should be a match. 1 cast, 2 cast dead. Also, unfortunately, Shen-Tang did not gain any stars today. Main reason for that is Shen-Tang does not have a hero class yet. It'll be getting Monk hero class in soon TM. I actually forget the date. Actually, let me go look that up. I believe it's in another week or 2. I don't think it's next Friday. It might be, though. But yeah, it's coming very soon. Like, very, very soon. Oh, no, it's not next Friday. It's, or is it? It's the last Friday of this month, right? Let me double check. I thought it came out on the 29th or something. Like on the leap year day. Let's see. But that wouldn't make sense because a week from now is the 28th. Let's see. When's the next class event? Next class event is on the... Oh, I was reading that like, wait, that already happened. No, it's March 13th. I thought that said February 13th for a second. I was like, wait. But no, Shen-Tang's hero class is coming in on March 13th. So still got a little ways. Oh, did I forgot to use Nimbus? Oh, no. I need to go to use Nimbus for next one. I need to not forget. Yeah, we'll run Nimbus for 1. I don't think I'm going to stick with Nimbus, but I do want to try it at least once. Oh, what do we want here? We got 1.2, got 1.2, and on 1.15. We shall do the Nimbus. Also, once we reach 200, we'll probably hand out code. I didn't even see what one we're currently at. I think we should be like right on top of it. Should be pretty close. I'm just doing this for the AoE. I don't even care if he hits us with skulls. It's not gonna matter much. Oh, of course, now we don't have our thing to go cast there. Would have been perfect alignment. I wish double clicking on a troop would auto cast it. But then again, maybe that wouldn't be a good idea. I think there was mention of that added to the game, like as a toggleable option. But the main reason they didn't want to like add it was they knew if they added like a double click, there'd be so many people accidentally like double clicking to misclick it. You can do it with controller, but you can't do it with mouse or touchscreen. But spam clicking on controller will allow you to auto cast it, whereas you cannot do the same with mouse or touchscreen. Not to say they would never add it, but they seem to not be wanting to. Mostly because they feel like it would make it so people would misclick too much. Even if they had a toggleable option for it. How many times will it take us to forget Nimbus spell? Oh yeah, next one will be 200, so as soon as we finish this faction, we'll hand out code. Let's see. I'll go with this one. Nimbus Bow, yeah, Nimbus Bow is theoretically cheaper than Vespera. Though Vespera has come out more recently. So more people might actually own Vespera, oddly enough. Nimbus Bow has been like months back. Like months upon months upon months. Like I think almost more than half a year back. So newer players probably don't have Nimbus Bow. Oh, let me grab that yellow, why not? Get those extra stats in case we need it. Yeah, we're almost at the full rewards. And she'll probably reach it almost by the end of this stream. Pretty much. Also, will we reach leaderboard? Probably not this stream. But soon TM. Actually, no, we can't even if we want to. Leaderboard's all the way up at pretty much rush method. If we were to rush the rest of the time, I think we'd be at a 1,300, 1,400? Or 1,500, like around here. If we were to go start rushing now. You could even see some 500s here. Of course, they can be even lower. These were like the people that went like all in rush. That skipped almost every single one just to go and get done. Which of course is a method if you want to go for it. It costs more gems that way though. However, if you're going and doing 500 pure faction, you might need to have the extra stats anyways in order to even be able to complete it. It's a bit of an annoying pure faction. One of the more annoying ones that we've had, mostly because of all the RNG aspects. Has anyone here actually reached pure faction yet? There's obviously a few dozen on the leaderboard. Not sure if anyone is actually here that has done it yet. No, some people are probably getting close. We're not doing it till tomorrow night though, pure faction. We'll probably reach the low 200s this stream. Tonight we'll probably reach a little bit under 300. Tomorrow morning we'll finish all the way to 500. And maybe we'll even do pure faction tomorrow morning. And if not tomorrow morning, we'll do it on Saturday night. Finish out then. And that's the game plan. And then Sunday we just go over all the new stuff next week. And hopefully beta will start soon. Soon TM. Let's see, I'll move that over for now. Should be a rather interesting patch. It's the first major patch of the year. We don't have enough damage. Still don't have enough damage. Spam all the extra turns. No, I'm not going to keep doing that until we have enough damage to kill it. That would take forever. Let's go poke it. Poke it dead. As long as we have one skull alignment, which he just ruined. Luckily, never mind, we still got one. There we go. Oh, what do we grab? Take our yellows. Grab a, we can just leave the rest to take that for now. This will feed mana to everything. Take the other one to feed mana to everything. Throw Doomed Axe on alignment. And he's dead off a Cascade. Or not off a Cascade, but off the skulls that gave us into Cascade. And thank you, Isabel, for mentioning that always. Greatly appreciated. I haven't been checking Discord that much lately, though. Really need some more. But we do have a Discord server. I need to chill around there a little bit more often. I'll go for that for now. And I should be dead. Level 6 chests, which means we get a 9 here. Did we even get a single 10 yet? I don't think we have. But that's a 9. It's kind of a shame that blue and purple doesn't really work like the yellow version on Vespera. Oh no, dual color storms are going to be extremely underwhelming. Mainly because it actually decreases the chance that you would get an extra turn relative to a single color storm. I'm not sure exactly what the whole premise is behind a double. Other than the fact that there are some extremely niche teams that do utilize it. But very rarely would a double storm be better than a single colored storm. It is so exceedingly rare. Hello, Zex. Welcome. Gonna reach out to me about codes on Wednesday? What about them? But, sure. Feel free to ask me. Oh, no. Kefka was. Wait, why did Kefka? Is, Salty not around? I know she got sick the other day. Oh, Kafka has been trying to reach me on Discord to give me codes. Oh, okay. Why Discord rather than the forum, though? That's weird. Where is she trying to contact me from? I didn't see any message on the Discord itself. Unless she's trying to do it through one of the Discord servers. We still have enough codes for a little while right now, though. If she is around, yeah, I'll need to get in contact with her. Not sure why she just didn't use the forum, though. I find it really funny that they don't even normally use, like, their own locations. Discord is just so much better than everything that they have available in-game. Though, of course, the forum isn't in-game either. Let's see. I'll grab the Pokety-Poke. Get our hit over there. And instead. Hello, Zeddicus! Glad you could join us. They are currently at 200 faction. Oh, also, I said I'd give out code. Oh gosh, I missed two things. I forgot to give out code and I forgot to switch to Nimbus Bow. Good job. Anyways, code time. Let's see. But I see no messages from Kafka on forum. But I can check Discord real quick. I didn't see it yesterday. And we'll see if she did it today. Anyways, let me hand out code. Which one were we up to? I believe this one or the one below. It's one of these two. Let's go put that in. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. And it is that one. So that means we have 3 codes left at this current moment in time. Copy all this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Whoops. Actually, that's not what I meant to do either. I want to put it the other way around so people don't keep getting that random space. But there you guys go. Here's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com with the game code section. Sleepy Tacet is best Tacet. I know, right? That's what happens from lack of sleep. There we go. But I don't see her messaging me on Discord either. I have no clue where she's trying to contact me. But I don't see any message on Discord and I don't see any message on forum. She hasn't messaged me anywhere. Let's see. I'll take this one. Grab the other one. Get our pokes. That's a lot of submerge. Gonna have to go down the entire poke route and not do a single, what's it called? Not do a single, Doom Dax, just because we're not gonna be able to get much value out of it. As I say that, I actually do want to go for it now, just because we do actually get a triple kill, even though he submerged. Would have been a quad kill, otherwise. I'll go get that down. What's the team that I'm using? We're using the double finesse into Doomed Axe into Vespera. And you can also replace it with additional finesses if you're missing literally anything. And also we're going to try the Nimbus Bow variant, which I don't feel like personally is going to be as good, but I do want to try it at least once, as it does have synergy with it. And it might be an option that people will have compared to Doomed Axe. It's basically like a, what's it called? It's basically like a Dwarven Gate team, essentially. But with a lot of yellow counter, which is applicable because the first and final room are yellow, or almost yellow. The first one's 4 yellows. The final one is 3 yellows, which is pretty much pure yellow. I just hate when it goes for it twice. Did not want you to hit you twice. Spawned the first one because it would have done additional damage. And then it's like, nope, twice. Okay, I was going to go for this. That should be a wipe. And it is. Actually, even if we didn't have the skulls, it would have been because the extra 5 little damage thing poke that it does. A little bit extra. Yeah, but no problem for the code, everyone. What do we grab here? Let's take some yellow. That'll give us all the mana we need there. Let them do whatever. Throw a poke now. Get our hit there. Throw it on last slot. Get a poke there. And then we get our extra turn there for mana accumulation to recycle everything. And surprisingly, last slot I have full mana. Let's take a yellow. Oh, I should have taken a green first. Full AoE would kill. Don't have one, so we'll go and just poke twice. And then poke twice again. Oh no! It didn't leak. Okay, fine. We'll take the yellow there. And then we kill it that way. Did you max out Dawnbringer? Yes, I maxed out Dawnbringer. It does have a 2 weird destroy on it, which can sometimes be bad, sometimes be good. But yeah, I did opt for maxing Dawnbringer. It doesn't really gain much of a benefit from being upgraded. So it's definitely not a high priority to do so, compared to a few other Doom weapons. But it doesn't really gain that bad of an effect when it does get upgraded. It's kind of weird that you have to decide if it is going to become worse by being upgraded or not. But it's okay to upgrade Dawnbringer. It's not like good or bad. What hair am I using? It's important to use Stormcaller. You need the Perpetual Yellow Storm, so he actually does the mana accumulation. And it also counts as Strix, so you gain 8 to all your stats per extra turn. Assuming he's not stunned. Because this thing gives 4 to all Strixes per extra turn to all stats. And this hero class counts as a Strix. Which makes it work out quite well. Actually, out of all 6 of the bonuses that they give, Strix is probably the overall strongest. Just because of the amount of overlap it has. Because it has all those Harpy mage things. Or, you know, all those Harpies. As well as a few pretty decent troops from the kingdom itself. Oh, to go for here. Let's just go get the cockatrice down just so we don't have to drain. Or worry about drain. Then we'll target something randomly. Perfectly. That actually hit exactly what I wanted both times. And then we AoE it, and he's dead. That battle couldn't have gone more perfect. Like the exact thing I wanted to happen, every cast happened. Too bad every battle can't be like that. Okay, before I forget, let's go Nimbus Bow right after this battle. We shall not forget. It shall happen. Yeah, we'll take that. Grab ourselves the manas we need. Get another little poke over there. If we can get a good Doomed Axe in there, good enough. So we'll go for that. Get our other thing there. And he's dead, or not dead. And now he's dead. Yeah, Ming's about one of the only few weapons where you'd kind of not want to upgrade it. Like, it's not going to be, like, horrifically bad if you do. But, it is advised not to. But it's honestly probably not going to be too big a difference. Very rarely. It's more... The biggest issue with it is there's a higher chance it will favor the enemy more than it will favor you. However, more often than not, it won't really favor in either direction. A single thing like that. But anyways, let me go and get Nimbus Bow in here. So there's two changes I need to make. First is getting Nimbus Bow. And the second is getting another Finesse. And a third is change banner, actually. I want a banner of like a +2 yellow, +1 green, if that exists. Yep. Okay, we'll go with that then. Okay, I don't think we need to change anything else. So it's Stormcaller with triple finesse. With a Nimbus Bow. Okay, so now we gain insanely good extra turn value. This team's also pure strict, so we do gain the full effect from that bow. Of which we should probably extra turn almost every single time. And then we get to stack stats and then just poke, 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 and kill. Ideally. That is the premise. Also, this team's relatively cheap. Only thing that people might not have is Nimbus Bow. Also, you could theoretically run this without Nimbus Bow. With pretty much any mana accumulating method. Probably Essence of Evil. Just to have it disable. Because you can also entangle first slot with it. But the main thing this team helps with is it gives us even more extra turn value. Instead of gaining 8 to all stats per extra turn, our entire team, all 4 of them, gain 12 additional stats per extra turn. 2 Goblin Mythic Essence of Evil with Divinia with the Archer class. Unfortunately, do not have a second Goblin King. Though at that point, I'd probably just go with a Zugoff and just go Zugoff plus Iron Gut. It's one of the other reasons why you generally don't need 2 Iron Gut. Is because a Zugoff can function as effectively your second Iron Gut. And between the two of them, they cover nearly every color in the game. And this faction does allow it. I'm not sure if I'm going to run it for later battles, but it's definitely something you can run. The Iron Gut Zugoff team. For the really high levels, like 300 plus, particularly 400 plus, it'd probably be the strategy to go for. It's because it's quite a bit quicker. Or, you know, it doesn't care like what their stats are. It's going to go the same speed regardless. Whereas this team does go slower the higher the stats go, like many teams in the game. While it can upscale, it's still slower against higher stats. Whereas Iron Gut and Zugoff, for the most part, aren't really any slower against higher stats. Zugoff slightly, just because Skull Spam is less effective. For the most part, it doesn't make that big a difference. Yeah, this works out pretty well. And one interesting thing about this too is once you get it going, assuming you don't get mana drained, and assuming you still have whatever is alive to perpetually keep your storm going, like Stormcaller with perpetual yellow, you can actually infinite loop the mana once you get it going. Because once we have it up, all we have to do is keep casting him. We're never going to run out of mana because he gives 3 or 6 mana to all other allies, which will make it so he'll always have full. So we do one, we do another. He's back at full, and then it cycles back. Now the second slot will be at full. Then third slot will be at full, and so on and so forth infinitely. So we essentially have infinite damage. Which is basically exactly like triple Dwarven Gate with Tesla. And similar teams like that. It's pretty much the whole premise of this team. Except instead of triple Dwarven Gate, it's triple Finesse. Same premise. But yeah, I forgot you could actually trigger that just with having the storm there. You can do that pretty easily off a Hero Perpetual Storm. And of course, there's 2 options for it, but the yellow one works way, way better. Plus, they have the exact same typing. The typing actually works out perfectly. And hey, free class XP. Definitely don't deny free class XP. I would not advise this at very low level ranges though. And by really low level ranges, I mean like the really, really low ones. Mainly because it can't one-shot the entire team. You probably wouldn't use this until about 100 or 80. Like when you can stop full AoE one-shotting the entire enemy team is when this would start becoming viable compared to full AoE. But for those really early battles, you do want to get a full AoE down, for sure. Yeah, I guess at this point we'll go till we get all rewards, and we might as well open them all and see what juicy loot we get. And of course, all rewards is by no means the end of the faction. We still need to go all the way to 500, and then we need to do Deathless. I mean, then we need to go not Deathless. Well, we technically need to do Deathless too, but we need to go do Pure Faction at that point. Lochnar, what were you trying to mention? I don't even see any of your message recently. I know you were mentioning something earlier. I haven't seen a single message from you since you mentioned the Orb of Wisdom. Oh, the code isn't working. Wait, why is it not working? It should. Did anyone else have a problem with the code? I thought you were referring to something else. Code worked on my end, and I made sure to copy paste it in a way that it wouldn't have an extra space. I've been trying to do that lately just so it wouldn't. I should have just taken that yellow. Oh good, it's not too late. And he's dead. Actually, I didn't even need that yellow, I already had the mana. Once we get it going, we have perpetual mana. I'm not sure why I keep taking mana. You're gonna complain to Salty that they need more uses? I don't know, you could probably convince her to do so. Like, the player base is still growing. Gems of War's player base has grown every single year so far. By some amount. And hopefully it will again this year. It's been out for 5 years and it has 5 years of growth. Which is very rare for a game. And this is like a really big title. Because normally player bases tend to dwindle. But the Gems of Wars has actually constantly increased. Obviously it's increased at different rates. But it has never really, on a yearly basis, it's never really gone down. There might have been like a specific month or months where it has. But from a year-to-year basis, it's been on an increase. Because obviously we sometimes have dry spots for updates. Like even right now, when was our last really major update? Was probably Tokens, and Tokens was in October. So we've gone about like at this point, probably 5 months between a extremely large update. But that is also somewhat because of the holiday. Let's see. I'll take that one over there. I'll grab this over there. Now we have infinite mana. If I'm going to use this team, I need to use Controller. This team would go so much quicker with Controller. Because you wouldn't want to care where your ability goes. You just want to cast it as quickly as possible if you're going to get it looping this consistently. But I might actually stick with this team, but do it with controller later. I'm not going to bother setting it up now, though. But I think tonight we'll go and mess with it. Because this team actually will potentially be quicker. Mostly because triple finesse with controller is actually really quick damage. Because you can auto-cast the ability. So you don't have to constantly keep clicking or retargeting the enemy. One thing that's interesting about controller is if that you spam click the A input, it will auto-target. If you're using a targeting ability, it will auto-target first slot. And for an ability like this, it'll be nice. Because these 3 clicks that we have to do, where we click over here, then we click over here, and then we click onto the enemy, can basically be brought down to 1 click, where all we have to do is click on the card, and then just spam A. And it'll do the other 2 clicks automatically. Which saves like a second or 2 per cast. Which is a lot, because we're casting like 5 to soon like 10 times per battle if we keep using this. Because of how many times we're going to need to do it. Right now I'm not even like caring what I target for the most part. Just need to apply the damage. It almost doesn't really matter what we target if we have this much mana. Unless something's threatening us with ability or if there's a Vow Raven. Unless there's like a skull spam option or something. Very rarely will we need to switch out. Oh, I do need to make sure we don't die though, gosh. As I say that, we almost died there. You have to pay attention to that. He's pretty tanky though. If we need more stats, we can just start taking extra turns. If he starts getting too low. That or switch back to Vespera team if we really had to. Vespera gains a lot of durability. Since it has a 50% chance per random stat that it will be a durability related stat. Which can help keep our first slot alive if we want to go down that route. You're not wrong is like Salty's catchphrase. Did I link the team with Nimbus Spell? I forget if I have yet. I can go get it real quick though. Oh wait, did I not save it? Never mind. I might need to wait until we finish out a delve. Because I don't think I saved it onto my copy paste. But all it is literally 3 finesses with Nimbus Bow. Like, all you would have to look for is the Nimbus Bow, pretty much. But I can go copy-paste it. I just need to wait till we finish out the faction, because I didn't save it anywhere. At least not yet. Let's see, 3 more battles, then you can copy paste it over to. Yeah, there's a couple different variants you can do with this team. Or it just depends on which way you want to play it. Honestly, I feel like my weapon doesn't even matter. Whatever it is. Almost never casting it. Hero's pretty much just there to gain free XP and to do perpetual Yellow Storm. I could probably even just replace it out for like Doom Dax or Doom something. Rather than Nimbus Bow. Something that can get a big cast in there. Oh, thank you, Drock Savage. Is that the copy paste for the team? There we go. Drock Savage got it covered. Could you do 4 Fauness? No. Because that's what I thought earlier too, but I forgot. It needs a Storm. You have to have a Storm in play. So you kind of have to use Hero with the Yellow Storm. Obviously, you could use Sun Spirit too, but Yellow Storm's obviously more beneficial, given that your team is yellow. Not to mention, you also get the Strix bonus that way, because it does count as Strix typing. So whenever you take an extra turn, you gain 12 to your hero class, to everything, including the weapon, including your magic. So if you want to use like a full AoE weapon, you can, instead of Nimbus Bow. If you don't have Nimbus Bow, like any full AoE Doom weapon or any full AoE weapon in general would end up working out pretty well with it. How are you not dead? There we go. So what tokens am I currently running? I don't think I'm running Pure Magic right now, am I? No, I am not. Wait, do we even need to be running Pure Magic? Actually, 20% start's probably better. Never mind. That's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go grab these little things. Oh yeah, here's a redeem code from earlier too that we handed out 23 minutes ago. It's probably dead by now. 23 minutes. But same thing as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Pretty sure it's already used up by now. Surprised our tribute's not ready. But anyways, clear through this. Okay, here's the copy paste for the team. If you want to get this exact one. In case that other one wasn't exact. But there you go. There's the copy paste for the team we're doing right now. Oh, that's not the right one. Sorry, that's the redeem code. My bad. That's not the right copy paste. 1 second. Wrong keyboard. Wrong computer, wrong keyboard. 1 moment. This is the one I meant to give you guys. Here you guys go. There's the one of the team. My bad. Wrong computer. Anyways, let's go and keep going until we get all rewards, unless we already have it. I don't think we have it yet. Let me see. How close are we? Oh, never mind. We already have it. Nice. We hit our main objective of the stream, and we have achieved it. There we go. 2 Vault Keys, and this is all the rewards you get as well. Here's every single reward that you would get from doing out this event. If you're mostly doing it for these. So, of course, you do get loot from every single room as well. But 2 Vault Keys, 10 diamonds, 1,950 souls, 80,000 souls, 500 Chaos Shards, 4 orbs, 7 Mythic Ingots, and a portrait and a title, which you can get for 25 gems and 20 gems respectively in a couple months if you don't get them now. But yeah, the main loot here is, of course, the 2 Vault Keys and the 4 orbs. And, of course, just the Renown in general for your delve and just the normal loot that you're getting for every single delve. Purple, orange. What is with these purple? What's with a good orange good lately? I don't mind if we always get that, though. We keep getting blue, orange, blue, and purple, orange, purple. We've been on a really low green streak. Or lack of greens. I think we've gone about 20 orbs without a single green. Might have been the longest I've ever gone without a green. Because we keep getting these oranges between everything. I don't mind, though. We just keep getting good ones, pretty much. Hello, Encon. You have a question? You had 2 burning battles in a delve. Does it stack? You mean on the 10% application? It refreshes the 10%. So if you burn something that's already burned, it'll reset the timer back to 10%. That actually applies if you apply any status effect to them. So if you, for example, were to like web something that is burned, it will reset the timer back to its 10% thing, and then to 20, then 30, and so on and so forth. But if you reburn something that's burning, and a few turns have already gone by, so it's like a 30% chance to cleanse, and then you reburn it, it'll go back to a 10% chance that it will cleanse on the following turn. But yeah, you can just use burn mechanic, or you can use the own mechanic to refresh the mechanic. The only one that you don't really want to do this too often with is Deathmark, because one weird thing about Deathmark, at least with how it currently interacts, is it reapplies the 1-turn delay. Deathmark has a 1-turn delay where it does not kill the enemy on the very first turn after it gets Deathmarked. And even if they're already Deathmarked, that 1-turn delay does get reapplied. However, in every instance, you can also refresh them back to 10%. As far as their cleanse chance. So, of course, cleanse cumulatively increases the chance every single turn, 10, 20, 30, 40, so on and so forth. But that can be reset by reapplying any status effect to the inflicted troop. and it'll go all the way back to the reset 10%. But anyways, let's go get down one more delve, and then we'll probably call it a stream for now and have a video up soon, TM, going over pretty much all the teams that we've been mentioning to stream, and probably a few that we haven't mentioned, because I don't believe I made a skull spam team yet, so we'll mention that during the video. But at this point, I don't know, this team's kind of growing on me, particularly the triple variant, actually. Just because I feel like this would work really quick with controller, and we'll try it tonight with controller. But if anyone still has any other questions, do let me know, because I'll probably be around for a few more minutes to answer any, as soon as we finish out this delve, which will take like, what, 8 minutes or so, probably about 1 minute per room, so they do a little bit quicker. Have you pure faction strong stone area? Yes, we've done everything except this faction, which we'll have done tomorrow night, and Sea of Sorrows, which I'll have done in whenever we can do it, which I believe is in like 2 months from now or so. Let's see. Have you done never mind, I already mentioned that. You're using Harpy Mage and 3 times Zachi. I ended up running with the single Harpy, then Zachi, then Harpy Mage, then Zachi. The main reason for the first slot Harpy is it gives you Brownstorm at the start of battle, and also allows you to have a 4 mana drain in case you end up needing it. The 4 mana drain only applies if you have a Storm, but you're already going to have a Storm by Harpy Mage doing a Brownstorm every time it casts, and the Harpy itself starting with Brownstorm for the first 4 turns. But yeah, it's basically one of each, but you double up on Zachi. And you use the Harpy as the tank. Because it gains HP, and it doesn't really matter if it dies compared to the others. We'll go for that. Get all the pokes. And if we need more stats for our first slot, all we have to do is just cast Nimbus Bow. And the extra turns literally just feed him durability. And look at that. He basically gained a whole skull or 2 worth of damage. Or durability 4 damage. We definitely don't need Nimbus Bow there, though. Nimbus Bow is not as required on this team that I thought it was. Like, that weapon can be almost anything in the entire game. Nimbus Bow is a great option for it, though. But it's definitely not required. Because you'll feed it mana regardless. The only reason that's really there is it's great mana accumulation, and it's almost guaranteed extra turn to feed it extra stats. That's a good backup plan as well, in case we happen to lose one of these. Oh, 2 consecutive battles in a delve? Burn applied to you? You never saw this before? There are traits on rooms where every subsequent room will give you, or will give the enemy a effect on skull. I'm pretty sure burn is one. I know Deathmark is one. I know Entangle is one. I'm pretty sure burn might be one. I'm not actually sure if it is, but it might be. I can't actually recall. There's probably a room that ends up applying burn per skull. Yeah, a flame affix is what it would be from, if it was to ever apply every single time. I forget what room ends up giving that, if that is a thing. Obviously, some things have it as a normal trait, but there are delve rooms that can make it apply for the entire delve. I'm glad there isn't a freeze variant of that. Could you imagine if they added a delve room where every room afterwards made it so their skulls froze, or their cast froze, or something really annoying like that? One that can be slightly annoying is there's a room where after you complete it, every single subsequent room will give Submerge after the enemy casts, which is really bad when you're using AoEs and have no Dispel, because it basically makes every single battle a Submerge battle. And since it happens every single time they cast, the only way to get rid of it from them is if they take a skull, which means something like the 3rd slot or 4th slot you're basically never going to remove it from. It's probably one of the more annoying affixes the entire game. Among one of them. That and Entangle. It's because the amount of disable that Entangle can do to a team. Especially when literally everything on the opposing team for every battle has it. And if at minimum it's annoying in that it slows you down. A team like this, it wouldn't slow down. But there's plenty of teams that would be slowed down slightly with Entangle constantly. This team doesn't care as much if it does get entangled. Thank you, Fabio. Oh, no, I'm probably not napping after this. I got my sleep earlier. Oh, no, I might for a little bit. So, of course, they need to record the video. The video should be up by tonight's stream. Should have enough time between then and now. Let's see. Because we already pretty much have all the teams to compose as well. There's a few I still wanted to do. And a couple of them that I didn't actually put down, even though I know what I would want to put down for them. But it shouldn't take too long. We should have it up by tonight. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, we'll wrap up as soon as we finish out this faction. And then tonight, we'll probably get up to like 260 to 300 or so, however far we can end up getting. Because obviously, we won't be doing any invasions. We already finished that out. So a good majority of tonight's stream is pretty much going to be the same thing, running through mid-range delves. And then tomorrow morning, we'll probably go all the way to 500. And then either tomorrow morning or later part of tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, basically. Or tomorrow night, we'll go and do Pure Faction. One or the other. I'm pretty sure we might just do it at the morning at this point. Just because we'll probably... it depends. If we do a rush method, we'll definitely do it in the morning. If we don't do rush method, we might just do it at night. Just because the later delves can go a little bit longer if we don't use rush. I'm not sure if I'm going to start rushing or not. It depends if we have enough sigils. Currently, we do not have enough sigils. And if we don't rush this entire time, I believe we can get all the way with how many sigils we currently have. Well, actually, yeah, we definitely could. Because tomorrow we'll have another 3 battles. Which means we only have to find 2 Val Ravens between now and then. So not rushing would definitely bring us there. I'm just not sure if we have enough stats with what we currently have to take on Pure Faction. I assume so, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Let's see. You have had 2 Hellhounds in the delve, and they were after each one. Just wonder, is third room at 20%? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But if you're applying 2 burns at once, it will only apply 1, if that's what you're saying. And I'm not really sure what you mean by just wonder, is third room at 20%. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm not even sure what you're trying to mention with that. The percent chance that you get a chest off a room never changes, if that's the thing you're mentioning. What, did I read that incorrectly? You had 2 Hellhounds in same delve, and they were after each other. Just wonder, is third room at 20%? There are different variants of the room. You'll never get the exact same room twice, but there are some rooms that have similar troops in them, if that's what you're referring to. How many of the last did you buy for so far? Oh, we bought up 5 packs, which is 2,110 gems. So we're currently at 2,110 gems in, as far as how much we spent, which is pretty much the lower end at which you could do Pure Faction for if you wanted to do it on a during one of the events with potions. But yeah, I'm hoping that can go all the way. But yeah, we're at 2,110. 10% negative, 10% positive. Still not sure what you mean by that. You had 2 Hellhounds in same delve, and they were after each other. Just wonder, is third room at 20%? You did get 2 in one room. You were shocked. Hellhounds? I don't believe there's any battle with 2 Hellhounds, is there? I know there's 2 different battles with Hellhounds. There might have been one that had double on it. I don't believe they did. I'm still not sure what you're trying to ask at all, to be honest. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, but yeah, do try clarifying that because I do want to answer it. I'm just not sure what you're trying to ask. If anyone else has anything else to mention, do so as well. Because we're pretty much just going to wrap up now then. feel free to leave a like on the stream. We'll be back in about 4 hours from now, or 4.5 hours later tonight. We'll have a video up sometime between then on the faction stuff. Pretty much most of the teams that we went over, just in a nice little bit more concise video. I always wondered why a delve would have a faction troop in the battles. That is not part of the faction. Yes, that can happen. There are some that basically has pure faction of another faction within another delve. It's kind of weird. There are several battles that are like that. Yeah, they just decided to use some of the other faction troops in other factions. Seems kind of weird because they're affiliating their faction to another faction. It's strange, but it does happen. Obviously, first and final battle always of the faction. But there are some in-between battles that do use faction troops from other factions within them. But anyways, guys, I'll be heading out for now. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in about 4.5 hours or so from now. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, probably around noon or so. It's about the same time that we started out today. And I'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful time with the faction, and best of luck. And we'll have a video going over it with a bunch of more teams soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.